played Codex Albana. Can you believe it? But we're back. We're here. They all showed up. You're here, so that's good news. Go ahead and introduce yourselves from my side. Start with Mr. Man and then work our way down.
All right. Hey, I'm Max Leal from Legion of Myth. I play Athane Kirby. Apparently, I'm supposed to be somebody important in this thing, but he's fighting against it, and he's going to continue to fight against it, and you can't stop him.
Because character growth is only for Devere.
Because character growth shouldn't happen once every, How often do we play?
Yeah, exactly.
4 hours every month, and yeah, I have to 4 hours every month. Wow, 4 hours a month on a good year. But apparently, we got a ragtag fugitive fleet here that we are trying to get some allies. Got one more ally to go. We can do it. I know we can do it if somebody doesn't take his eyeball out.
Well, he's got 2 new ones.
I know he's got 2 more to go. My character lost 4 eyeballs. Oh, you're an alien? No.
This is weird. The stream hasn't started on my channel.
No, it hasn't.
This is super weird. Whose channel is Hungar on? Hungar, what channel are you on?
Not mine.
It is live. I had to go back. I had it up, but it wouldn't refresh and load. I've had to go back into it and load it again.
Yeah, no, I've reloaded it like 6 times. Let's go through my main front door.
It's live on mine.
That's weird.
Oh my god, that's
yours is
so weird.
live,
It created a whole new stream for it. Can you believe that shit? It didn't use the one that I had connected to this restream. It started a whole new one.
Mm.
How? Oh, restream. No, restream. You could have been great. You could have taken the reins of power, but you did not.
Yep, we moved back to StreamYard.
Yeah, well, sadly, I paid for a year.
No, look, I still think Restream is good. It's just StreamYard has decided to take some of the features that we really liked about Restream and integrate it into StreamYard, and it didn't cost nearly as much as everybody was talking about because, well, it just didn't.
Well, it still costs more than I could afford.
That's fair. Well, yeah, that's fair. I
Saying.
actually got a lower price than what I normally paid.
How'd you do that? That's right. We're not here to play role-playing games. We're here to talk about streaming.
The quick version is I said, I'm done with you. They're like, no. How about this? It's only going to cost you $400 per year. And I'm like, okay.
As opposed to?
With the upgrade, 837, I think it was. Everybody was saying it's going to be over $1,000. Even I believe that, but it was only going to be 800 something. But I was like, yeah, it's still too rich for my blood. So I was going to downgrade to like the $300 package. And like, how about this? $400 for what you've been using. I said, okay, I will do it.
They were panicking at that point because they were just watching themselves hemorrhage users, right?
But they've also added a bunch of features too. In fact, they've added chat, not nearly as good as Restream, but they've even added a chat feature where you can show it on the screen now.
No, and listen, they've certainly upped their game, that's for sure. But the thing is when I went and looked into it to find out what the backstage story was on it all, it was basically they got bought.
Yep.
And the new company came in and went, yeah, we want to make more money.
Yep.
Just grab the goose by the neck and start squeezing, going, shit, those golden eggs, goose,
I think it's going to be a great NVIDIA versus AMD kind of thing between StreamYard and Restream. I hope they keep competing with each other. I hope they keep growing, keep making things better for all the streamers out there, and you kind of pick your poison.
Yeah. All right, so that's Max. Next to him, we have Cody. Hi, Cody.
Hey, what's happening? I'm Cody. I think everybody here knows me, and I'm playing Laurelin, the wizard, who's gone through a lot of changes.
And back again.
And back again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And has more eyes than, the average being now. It's really good.
His name is Beholder.
Behold, I am the impervious Laurelin, I will carve out my eyes and grow them back. What I say, strangely cryptic things to thee. Yay! Yeah, it's something. It's an interesting character. You've certainly made this character your own, and I cannot at all fault you for that. He is 100% unique and original. So well done there, sir. Okay, under him we have
Malachi.
Oh, I'm sorry. Were you speaking? Oh my god.
I'm done now.
He's got that spawn ticker for the amount of words he's allowed to say.
Yeah, I guess the timer. I can't say anymore. I go back to hell. All right. Well, I look forward to you being presented with a challenge at some point during this session today and seeing how you handle it. Next to you, we have.
Well, the Navri, formerly known as Prince, Navri Ishmatar, now the Paladin of the High Father.
Funny how death will change you.
Mm.
Isn't that crazy? That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. All right. And then, of course, below you, we have.
I'm Andy. I'm playing Brother Dale of
Isley.
Isley. You want the I? Okay, Isley.
Jesus Christ.
Who is some see him as a madman or a fanatic. He's a holy man. He's perhaps the final prophet.
He's a holy man. Like his brain is holy. It's amazing. It's full of holes. It's good. And then I saved him for the last because certainly last session he was the king of the world. Go ahead.
I'm the old geek and I'm playing Sir Gerard de Vere, everyone's favourite lawful stupid paladin. Formerly lawful stupid paladin, because he learnt something last session. He had a bit of a life lesson, and now he wishes to deal an end-of-life lesson to certain people who did nasty things to his family.
Also, he's not a paladin. So wrong.
No, he's not a paladin, but if you're thinking in D&D terms, he was the archetypal.
Not a paladin, though I play one on TV. So there we are. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I fear to ask this, but who would like to summarize the previous session for us?
Not it.
Really? Okay.
I mean, I remember my bits.
No, that's fine. We'll just pick up and go, and we won't worry about a thing because clearly I'm the only person who rewatched the entire last broadcast before today's game.
So we won't worry about setting sail from Mishmar and Mir and things like that then. And
I'm sorry, we won't worry about what?
we won't worry about setting sail from Ishmir and what happened when we arrived. And,
we won't talk about anything that happened at Palabri. It was lovely. We visited. We had tea and crumpets. It was delightful. And now we are on our way to Davon.
I got to sit on a throne.
Yeah, that was. You pulled two moments that were absolutely just like. As a GM, I was like, did Max just give up on the campaign there? He pulled Hungar moments.
Did we talk after? Because I can't remember if I mentioned this. I thought that when you said that she left and her entourage went with her, that included the Astradi as well.
God, no, they were there to kill people.
Well, I didn't. So I was like, oh, the room's empty. I'm gonna go quickly run up there, and you're like, oh, okay. Well, they're still standing there ready to attack. It's like, oh.
Oops.
That's all right. We got rid of them later.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
and what's his name? Perrin thinks I'm a coward.
Who?
Perrin.
Perrin thinks you're a coward. Why does Perrin think you're a coward?
Because I wouldn't lead from the front. I led like a real man. I sent my Tobies to go forward.
And I tried to do the right thing and give the king in waiting a squire to. But he wouldn't have it.
Didn't ask the squire if he wanted either. Just sort of.
No.
This is Gerard de Vere at his finest. Well, you're getting a squire, Your Highness. I didn't ask for a squire. I don't want to be a squire. Well, too bad. It's all happening because I, Gerard de Vere, in my pig-headed wisdom. Am I wrong?
No, not even slightly.
I can't remember. Did I send him back to you or not? I thought I did.
Yes, you did. Yes,
okay.
And all Perrin wanted to do was make breakfast for everybody, and De Vere told him he's not allowed. In fact, De Vere said they have to make breakfast for you. And I remember rewatching that, I was thinking to myself, who exactly does he expect to be the one to make breakfast? The king? The holy paladin? The crazy person who hears voices in his head? The personality of a piece of cloth that is Malachi's character, Bakht? Oh, no. Let's have Laurelin make food for everybody. That can't possibly go wrong in the slightest, right? Oh, so silly.
Got good body parts too.
Dash of eye, bit of blood. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we're using modified Cthulhu Dark Ages for this system, but it's not a Cthulhu. Just to answer that question. Okay. So when we left, you guys had defeated the Astrati, picked their bones for good equipment and weapons if you needed them, and then left them for the villagers to deal with. Spent the night, and in the morning, without breakfast, we're back on the road, eating trail rations and bread and cheese that was given to you by the villagers as a move on with your day. The remainder of your ride north along the Salt Road, and this is the old Salt Road. This is like the first Salt Road. It comes from Davon, where the salt mines are, all the way down to Palabria. It's quiet. It's peaceful. You realize your reputation is preceding you as you're going up the road, because every time you get to a roadhouse to spend the night, people know who you are. You're expected. They treat you amazingly. And then you cross the border into Davon. And when you cross the border into Davon, there is I'm not sure what the term is, retinue, tattoo. I don't know what you call a group of knights. A table? I don't know. I don't know what you call them. But that's waiting for you, flying the pendants of Davon and of High King Herrick, or sorry, not High King, but King Herrick III of Davon's banner. And they all, okay, you know how the Palabrians were kind of, hey there, yes, the Palabrians, yes, indeed, we all look very lovely, and we have our best stuff, and woo-woo, and all that, lovely. These guys look like the working class knights. Like, everything's clean, everything's good, but it doesn't have that spit and polish parade formation feel that everything in Palabria had. It has more of a, yeah, we work for a living. Like, we're, actual knights. And one of the reasons for that is that Davon has made a tremendous amount of money renting out their knights to protect people traveling on the roads. Basically, they during the time before and after the festival, the Battlegrounds Festival, where you all met, they ride the salt roads, escorting merchants and pilgrims and things like that. Thank you, Agile Monk. A retinue of knights. There we are. There's a retinue of knights waiting for you. Did I say retinue first? Was that the first word I said? My brain knew, even though my brain didn't. It's amazing how my brain sometimes doesn't know what my brain's doing. Anyway, so they are considered the best cavalry in the known world. They are considered the best threat to the Astrati, because while the Astrati are really, really good with their full plate armor that no one else uses or has developed yet or is able to sort of replicate, no one has matched the ability of the armored cavalry of the Davon Knights. These guys, the Davonic Knights, are the shit when it comes to open charges. Like, they will just crush you. And there's about 30 of them waiting 10 feet on the other side of the border markers. There's these two stones on either side of the Salt Road, and that's the border marker between Palabria and Davon. So what do you guys do when you see all that up ahead?
I'll ride forward and urge Ethane to join me.
Fine.
They can expect you to speak to them, Ethane. They know who you are, or they know who you are going to become.
Who's got the banner?
Perrin. Yeah.
Then let Perrin ride alongside you then. Or walk alongside you.
Well,
You can sit on the back of my horse.
You're all riding. So Perrin, has a pony or something. I'm sure you didn't make him walk. Thank you, Agile Monk. Thank you very much. And I don't qualify unless cats qualify as children. So for any of you others who have children, happy Father's Day. So I guess it's pretty much you. Malachi, you have kids? Really?
my ex had a daughter. We were together for a while, and I was kind of like a father figure for her. So
Okay, and then
yeah,
By extension,
by extension, fair enough.
a
Anyway,
child-in-law.
yeah, child stepish. It's step-like. It's a quick step. Anyway, so the three of you ride forward. You've got Devere on your flank, on your right flank, and you've got Perrin on his little light horse on your right flank with your pennants flying.
And I ride up behind him.
Of course you do.
I'll be with Laurelin.
Of course. So you leave Navri and Dale behind? Is that it? Is Navri going to ride up with them too, or what's going to happen?
I'll be riding alongside the High King and Devere, yeah.
So what's Dale doing since they're all leaving you, basically?
Well, I'll try and get the horse pointed in the right direction and slowly follow.
All right. So you guys get to the edge of the border and stop, and they just sort of were looking at you. Traditionally, one of you should announce the king. And Devere, being the most uptight about regulations, would know that. He's too busy typing in YouTube, by the way.
Ethane, you will need to address them.
I said hi.
Yes, but ride forward and address them properly. Okay,
Oh, there! Who are you?
Sort of looks, the head knight sort of looks at you, takes off his helmet. He's a decent looking older gentleman. Got the graying at the temples. This looks like a seasoned knight. Sir Lester of Davon, who you be?
Do I give him my rank? Thane Kirby. And my champions and princes and...
I'll stand up in the saddle and say and call out, "May I present for you the High King, Ethane Kirby."
That too.
You're the one making all the noise.
Yeah. Well,
Very well. By order of King Herrick III of Davon, we welcome you and are to escort you to the castle, High King.
thank you.
So he basically turns his horse and barks an order, and the company splits, giving you guys an avenue to ride between them.
And over at Devere, one day we got to work out this process.
Oh, yes. I'm quite familiar with it. I was just hoping that you would learn it. Naturally.
You remember like 2 weeks ago when I was screaming, "He's a lord"?
You are a lord, sir.
Well, I'm not used to being one.
Get used to it.
Also, 2 weeks ago is a bit disingenuous. Just saying. So you guys ride up the road, and to your surprise, as you're passing through these farming villages on your way towards Kingshold, peasants are coming out and they're cheering and they're throwing, grain and barley at you guys and on the road, and with that is wildflowers mixed as well. And they're there's troubadours wandering around playing instruments, and there seems like these people are excited to see you as you guys are riding up the road. And as you crest a hill, you see beneath you or below as you crest, all these scents in the air of farming and people and what have you. It's a very, very heady type of bouquet that you're feeling. You can see this massive lake, maybe 10, 15 miles long, 10 miles wide. It's a long, thin lake stretching out through the hills up towards the mountains where the salt mines are. And there is a castle sitting around a city, and the castle sits above it a little bit. And that would be the castle of Kingshold, the oldest and strongest castle on Albana that's currently still functional, and the home of King Herrick III, king of Davon. And you are heading towards it. And as you get into the city, it's even more fanfare, and maidens are swooning at Navri, and they're throwing roses, and it's all ooh ah. And there's banners, and people are excited and happy, and children are running up to give flower bouquets to the High King and all that kind of it's quite the thing. I need everybody to make an ego check. Basically, we'll say you need to roll under half your ego, not to let your head swell a little bit on this one.
What's ego?
Can I fail? Can I fail that on purpose?
It's what's ego? It's will. Oh God, it's been 2 months since we played this goddamn game. Oh my God, what is the
We have sanity, luck, education, appearance, power, size, intelligence, dex, con, strength.
I think ego is based on power.
Power. Okay.
What's
It's been 2 months.
what's the
kidding
penalty?
me?
What?
Any penalty or anything?
Nope. Just need to roll under half of it.
Extreme success. So yeah.
Ooh, extreme success. Ooh,
fail.
Zulu knowledge. What'd you get?
Fail 71 on 50.
Yeah, this is only right that they are worshiping like this, because clearly the High Father has put his hand upon you, which in turn has put its hand upon the High King. Therefore, this is the appropriate behavior of all these people. How did the king do?
Oh, I kind of like this. This is awesome. This is what they should be doing.
So that's a fail. Laurelin, how'd you do?
I failed.
So, yes, it is time they recognize the power that is before them, that this island is about to change. And then once the island has changed, the world will change. Dale, what'd you get? You said you got a critical success, right? Or an extreme success?
Me.
Yeah. You're the only
Yeah. I got extreme success. So 0 score under 18.
It's all just nonsense and peasantry and,
Yes,
this is pomp and circumstance.
Yeah.
Gerhard Bacht, how'd you do?
32 under 25.
So, yes, indeed, the time has come. The recognition is good. And then the question we've all been waiting for, how did Gerard do?
87 when I needed to roll under 27.
So, yes, finally people know how to treat knights and nobility. Finally, a place that respects you for who you are and what your blood itself means.
He has the smuggest, most punchable grin on his face at the moment.
Sir DeVere, I could get used to this.
So good. Well, I was used to this before. Back when.
Oh, wait, you're not a sir anymore.
No, I am.
High King, sir, this is all for you. The people love you, can't you see?
Well, yeah.
High King, don't let it go to your head. They don't know you yet. Why would they do all this now?
When's the last
They've heard you're
Colette
coming.
that you've seen get some honors like this? Let's enjoy this.
Yes, enjoy it. Enjoy it. Milk
Building all those
every
flowers.
moment.
This is for our homeland.
So you're led through the gates into the courtyard of the castle, and once you're inside, they close the portcullis, locking the cheering and singing on the other side of it, and you notice there's no cheering and singing in here as all the knights begin dismounting and grooms come running up to take over their horses and come up to take yours as well. And the knight you met at the gate just goes, right then, if you don't mind your grace, we have to go this way now.
Okay.
Normally, we'd all get a chance to wash the road off us a bit before we met the king, but he said to bring you raw away, so we'll bring you raw away. On with us. And he leads you into the castle. When you get to the doors, there are two halberdiers, I guess is the proper, I don't know, halberders? I don't know what you call them. Halberdiers. Halberdiers, and basically they let the king pass and the knight pass, and then they block the rest of you.
Oh.
Your entourage can have a bite to eat, get cleaned up. My orders were to bring you and you alone before the king.
Okay.
What are the rest of you doing? Are any of you doing anything, or are you just accepting your fate?
I'm just looking at the others.
I will dismount and I will stand guard at the gate. I'm going to guard my king.
Fair enough. So, being the oldest castle in Albana, and it is a old stone castle. Like, it's not pretty. It's not like there's pennants and tapestries and all sorts of stuff everywhere, but it's like covering bare white gray stone. Like, this is a real castle. This isn't like the nonsense you saw in Palabria. This isn't like that drum tower you guys call a castle in Caleth. This is not even as ostentatious as the Jarl's Hall that you saw in Drael. This is a real war castle. This is designed to hold off armies if need be, right? And they lead you up these stairs that just don't seem to end. And eventually, you get brought to a door where there are another 2 guards at the door. And they nod at the knight, and they open up the door, and he goes, "Right this way." And you walk into what is essentially a chamber, like a bed chamber, like someone's living quarters. And there's a draft of cool air coming in from the open balcony, where you see an old man on the balcony, and he would look like this. And the knight clears his throat, and he turns. The old man turns, and he goes, "My lord, High King Ethane Kirby, first of his name." And the old man goes, "Yes, High King. Come closer. My eyes aren't what they once were."
I step towards him.
And he sort of takes your face in his hand. His fingers are long and bony. He's extremely old. And he just sort of does this that gives you a look around. "You're from Caleth.
Yes, sir.
Farmer by those hands.
That is correct.
How come you to be the High King, eh?"
I don't know.
That's a good answer. My spies tell me you've made quite the enemies in Palabria.
I have no training in this. I didn't mean to do that.
Training? Do you think there's a school you go to where they teach you to be king? Exam? Put books
Weren't you
on your
born
head and
into
walk
this?
straight?
You were born into this? You live every day like this? At least that's what I was told happened.
Like what? I'm an old man surrounded by enemies who want to kill me and take my throne. No children to succeed me. They all fear to be Escain II. No clear line of ascension, and Davon will descend into civil war. And I assure you, that bitch in Queensport has her fingers in most of my nobles' purses, egging them on, promising them this, that, and the other thing.
Well, we saw a lot of that, and I think the Estradi were part of it.
He literally, as you start talking, he just starts poking you and goes, "I'm not done talking, boy.
Sorry, sir.
You're here now. You are the change that we need." Thirsty?
I've got nothing.
Are you thirsty?
Yes.
Good. Come, we'll get some wine. And he takes your arm, almost like he needs it a bit for support, and
That's
leads
fine.
you over.
I'll help him.
Leads you over to where a rather young, attractive maid is basically preparing wine. She gives both of you, and she sort of avoids eye contact. That's the part I never get used to. No one wants to look you in the eyes. They think they're being respectful, but it feels quite rude. There'll be things you don't like about this if you live long enough, but boy, there's a lot of money on your head right now, don't you know? Rumor
No, I
is
did not know.
assassins from the continent are coming in to get you.
Wait, from way to the east? Why do they care?
Because the Othasians have so much money invested in Albana through Palabria and Olski that they are going to not let you upset the cart and spill all their precious wares all over the floor for the common people to take. They back their horse. Their horse is that cunt in Queensport. If she had had vision, she'd have married you. But she didn't have vision because she's got that idiot Austrati whispering in her ear all of his crazy orthodox concepts and ideas.
Not anymore.
Not the... Boy, I'm talking about their leader in Ostrad, what was once the Uri Valley, a beautiful people, enslaved. Their queen now brings water to the miners, bread to the workers. Strong girl she is. She would make a good high queen. But I hear you're already married.
Yes.
To a Jitto girl, eh? A rover. I admire your balls.
They told me I can't do that anymore.
Do what you want. Tell them to fuck off. Do what you like. You understand? I loved exactly one woman in this lifetime. And she died 30 years ago, leaving me without an heir. And they have tried to marry me to every daughter of a noble or a knight or a milkmaid, for God's sakes. And I laugh.
So you didn't marry for more political power?
Gods now.
I should have been born here.
Well, you're from Calith. You're a pragmatic stick in the mud. Calethi are excellent farmers, and you make a hell of a good infantry. But you're not renowned for your vision or your individualism. So, what do you want from me, boy?
I need somebody that can give me some good advice, but most notably, we need your support. Well, it sounds like that, and I appreciate that more than you can know, or more than I even fully understand right now. But nobody else seems to like us. Every time we make an ally, something happens that puts that into some jeopardy. We've got the Ashmiri that, in my retinue, Navri was supposed to be the prince, but that's not happening anymore. I forget everybody that we've met along the way.
As I know it, you have Tanya on your side, so Ishmael brings to you. You've got Ogla, the Drailsman. He's on your side.
Yep.
You've got Cian from Ire. He's on your side. And now you've got me. That's most of the crowns of the island, and I'm fairly certain, once you get a chance to talk to Ethel, when you get back to Calith, he'll mumble and futz and eat pie and then say whatever. And you'll have his infantry. So you now have the support of the lion's share of the islands, boy.
We still need to get Palabria.
You will not get Palabria by force. Palabria will not bend its knee to you.
Well, then we need to somehow weed out the Astrati.
Again, that fight has been coming for some time.
Well, how can we turn them against this evil witch that wants... You'd think that their religion would want to stop the evil takeover.
Brucca. It is an uncontrollable factor in all of this, Brucca. That witch, as you so rightfully called her. Dangerous. Maeve.
Well,
But I hear you have a magic man in your retinue.
We do.
Does he treat with her?
I don't know.
You wanted advice, boy. Here's some advice. Know what your people do. You cannot make decisions without knowing what's going on around you.
I know he's made a deal to save our lives, and that we have, well, now less than 3 years, 3 summers, in order to build up our army, or she wins.
Well, Primarch Achenholz of Ostrad has pledged himself to Palabria, which means his Templars will fight for her. But I've been itching to see how my heavy cavalry will do against them. I think those overstuffed Ostorians are going to find out the business end of a Davonic charge eventually. Make no mistakes. This will end in war. There is no peaceful way for you to take this island under one rule. Palabria will resist, Oski will resist, and from the continent, Othasia and the Ostorians will pump money and resources into their 2 factors. Ostrad for the Ostorians and Palabria for the Othasians. You understand?
I do. How do we redirect their efforts? Instead of going to war, or maybe we do go to war, but how can we redirect their efforts and have them fight Brooke? There's got to be a way that there's got to be a way that they see that as the overall enemy. And since the Ostradi are crazy religious, there's got to be a way we can turn that to our advantage.
You're the threat, not her. That's the problem. She's a thought for later. You're an immediate problem. You understand?
I do.
If you want to break... Is there any blood of Wardagon in your heart, boy?
No.
That's a shame. The only way to break Othay and Astoria is to convince them to start fighting back on the continent, and the only place they'll fight over are the Midlands. Wardagon knew it. He was smart. I liked him. I fought for him. But he's dead now. So you get to carry the mantle of a united island.
How many, so that I'm not taking up all of your time, good
My time
king.
is yours, my king.
Who is your counsel?
Me. Chamberlains want to run castles and governments, and marshals want to fight and wear nice armor, and masters of coin worry about wheat and salt and iron. But we are rulers. We have to worry about everything. What can they tell you? What do they know of the burden that sits on your shoulders? Huh?
Well, they give counsel. I'm so new at this.
Where's your entourage? Outside the castle?
Yes.
I did that on purpose to teach them some humility. My spies are everywhere on this island, and I hear about everything you've been doing. I like that you are different, but you're relying on other people too much, and they can be turned. They don't believe it themselves. They are loyal to you, but they can be turned. Every man has a pressure point that if enough force is exerted against it, they will do what it takes, believing they are right. Do you understand?
I understand the words, but that's confusing.
What do you care about most in this world, Athane?
Just want to live and be happy. I don't want any of this.
I didn't ask you what you wanted. I said, what do you care about most in this world? The unborn child in your woman's womb?
I haven't been allowed to think about that.
Well, now think about it. And think about what would happen if that child and she would end up in the hands of your enemies, and they made it very clear what would happen to them both if you did not do as they say. That is what I'm referring to. Every man has pressure points.
How do you do this by yourself?
I got rid of my pressure points. My woman died 30 years ago. I loved her dearly. I would have given up the crown for her had she asked. But since she died, I do one thing and one thing only. I live for her memory.
That I understand.
Good. All right, let's go get your lads. Let's bring them in. Make them understand their place a little bit better. Shall we?
Yes. I'll help him only if he seems like he wants me to.
Oh, yeah, no, he's happy
Okay.
to, he's happy to be helped.
Okay. Then I'll help.
And they basically head downstairs, and they take you down to the main throne room. Meanwhile, outside in the courtyard, where you guys have, water's been brought for you, food, fresh clothes if you need it, or they've taken your horses and your gear, and done all of this sort of stuff they're doing to make sure you're okay. But they've been leaving you guys pretty much standing as a group. Perrin has been running around with a cloth, much to the chagrin of Sir Devere, I'm sure, washing all of your shoes for you. Basically just cleaning up your armors and your cloaks and everything. He's trying to make you presentable because he's 10 and it matters to him more than anything else that you guys look right. So he's doing his best, which I'm sure I can just see Devere going, Perrin, no, Perrin, no, Perrin. But, I won't force you to make a choice because Devere is going through his transitional phase, it seems. So what are you all doing while you're waiting?
I will just wash the dust off my sandals and my feet, and then I'm not changing clothes because I never do.
By the way, Dale is pungent, just so we're clear.
Laura,
I might put some water on my beard and just give it a comb with my fingers.
Laurelin?
Laurelin just slumps up against the wall and, with great effort, leaning on his staff, sits down on the ground and goes into a deep meditation as he puts his hood over his head.
So, Edgelord's going to edge?
Yeah, exactly.
Fair enough. What's Bach doing?
Well, I'm gonna get refreshments. I'm gonna let Perron do his thing with the armor, get it cleaned up, and thank him when he's done.
My pleasure, Chevalier. My pleasure. It is what I love to do.
I will insist that he make sure he gets himself some food and drink.
Oui, of course. And he runs off and eats some lemon cakes, and he looks very happy. Navri, what is the ethereal Navri doing?
Navri's just stood and he's staring at where, the gate to where the High King is, and he's just staring and concentrating and thinking of the High Father's protection on the High King and make sure that he's okay.
Okay, and what's the moment we've all been waiting for? What's Devere doing?
Devere will be standing next to Navri, silently biting his lip so hard it bleeds because he desperately wants to put Perrin in his place, but he knows it's not the right thing to do. Let the boy keep happy, doing his duty, and he's like that because he so much wants to go. Perrin, stop it! But
Perrin, what are you doing?
He's not going to. He's not going to. He's mulling over in his mind the events of the last however many hours, days, picturing his family. He can't get the thought out of his mind of what horrible fate they suffered, and that is what is giving him the motivation to try to accept his newfound position and responsibility.
Okay.
But it still feels odd to him because, of course, you don't change overnight. But
as you mull these things and you taste iron in your blood and your tongue, you become aware that in front of you and Navri is Perrin, and he's holding up a basket that's got a few lemon cakes in it and two wax-topped flagons of mead.
Thank you, Perrin. You are a good lad. You will make a great knight one day.
Okay, if you insist.
Navri, after you, please. I insist.
Thank you, Devere.
Biting his lip. He's like,
No, Perrin, I think Sir Devere is right. You have the makings of a fine knight.
Okay, it is what you all seem to want me to do. Really, I want to dance. Anyway, so you guys eat your lemon cakes. They're quite good, and the mead is really nice. It's not as good as the mead you had in Drail, but it's pretty good mead. It's got more of a lavendery taste to it. So it's clearly a local, type of honeybee thing they're using that's got a lavender taste. So honey and lavender. It's quite interesting. And then the gates open, and a gentleman in what look like officious robes steps in and goes, "The entourage of the High King is requested to attend to the throne room. Please come forthwith."
Okay.
And you guys
I'll
head
look
in.
at Sir Devere and nod. That's us.
Yeah. I look at Perrin and says, that
I want
includes
to be a
you.
lumberjack. A mighty sequoia. Perrin's like beside you. He's ready to go.
Yep.
So you guys head in, and as you head in, other men in robes fall in beside you and start talking to each of you and asking you your name, where you're from, any titles you might have, and things like that, so they can write. And they're writing as you talk, so they can. It looks like they're getting ready for something. And then when you get to the throne room, the doors open, and there's a gentleman standing inside with a very large sort of stick, staff, and he taps it on the flagstones, and he says, "My lord, I present to you," and then he goes through each one of you based on what you told the guides, right? So I'm sure it's Sir Devere, former knight of Palabria, blah 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 blah, right? Perrin, Sir Perrin, junior knight in service of the High King. Gerhard Bach, former Templar of Ostrad, free knight and defender of the High King. Sir Lorlan Lachlan, mystic and seer and advisor to the High King. Sir Navri Ishmatar, paladin of the High Father and royal holy council to the High King. Brother Dale of Isley. And then you see basically the old king sitting on the throne, and then sitting on a seat sort of beside him, but smaller, obviously, on a throne, is Athene. And the king goes, "All right, come on. It's enough of this nonsense. Come forward."
Go forward.
Yeah, go
Yes,
forward.
forward.
Do any of you kneel or bow or anything like that?
Neil.
So as you start, it goes, "Ta, ta, 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 ta." None of that. This isn't bloody Palabria. This is Davon. This is a kingdom where people work. We respect each other. Now, I've had the pleasure of your High King's company, and I've been counseling him to cut ties with all of you and put you to the fields where you'll be more useful to the island. So I want each of you in turn to tell me why you should be allowed to remain in the entourage of the High King. I want the Palabrian to start first.
Very well. I, Sir Gerard de Vere, have stood by young Ethane Kirby as he has grown into his role. I have supported his every move. My family have died for the cause, and I have stood up against the bitch who calls herself Queen of Palabria. Plus, I'm the one who struck the killing blow against the advisor poisoned her ears.
Yes,
I am as
again,
loyal as
friend.
they come.
I don't care if you're loyal. A dog is loyal, boy.
Plus, I am the Knight Commander.
Oh, he glances over to thing, giving out fancy titles, eh? Knight Commander. You all think you're in the middle of a Pendrick cycle. Are you children? Well, that one is, but the rest of you, are you children? This is no fairy tale. Your family has died, so what of it? Thousands of families will die before this island is unified. The blood
Brother
of
Dane
the
is hopping
people,
from foot to foot at the moment.
the blood of the people soaks the very earth that is tilled to feed the armies that will kill more people. Get your noble aspirations out of your ass, boy. Also, I heard you were stripped of your knighthood, so you are Sir Nothing. You are just Gerard de Vere.
I do not recognize the actions of my
Ahem! I am a king, sir. You will hold your tongue until I allow you to speak. You see? He turns to a thing. You see? His pride is his pressure point. Push on it hard enough, and you will move him like a lever against a stone. Now, come here, Gerard de Vere, son of a cloth merchant. Come up the dais to my throne.
I'll walk up.
Now kneel.
I kneel.
He stands up, reaches behind his throne, and pulls out a fucking sword and a half. It's not as big as the two-handers that the Estradi use, but it's certainly much bigger than the arming sword you carry. And he just basically goes bunk, bunk, pop against the side of your head. Now rise, Sir de Vere, Knight of Davon, and take your place. All right, which one of you is next?
I'll put my hand up.
Oh, the stinky one.
King, sir, I must say you are wrong about the cycle. This is the cycle. We are in the cycle.
This is the madman. Understood.
Mad?
Yes,
It is quite clear, sir, that the cycle.
When you've lived as long as I have, you'll have seen many Pendrick cycles start and never finish or end in blood. Vortigern thought he was on a Pendrick cycle, and where did that get him? Poisoned and dead on a ship. And Evelyn, the fucking crown of Palabria. I still think people did that to put her there, but nonetheless. Remove him, bathe him, and reclothe him in something that doesn't stink. If you're going to be a prophet, boy, then you need to look the part. Right
look
now,
down
you
in
look like
amusement
a
about
farmer. And so, a bunch of people, come up and they're just like, this way, sir, please. And they sort of, they lead you out to go give you a bath and get you some clothes. All right, I'm having a good time. This is more fun than I've had in seasons. Which one of you little upstarts is next?
I will slightly step forward.
As all this is happening, I just turn around and start walking out.
Stop now.
I stop.
Turn and face me, Laurel and Lockland.
It's Lockwood.
Whatever. Who's beating on their
And I only answer to one king, the High King.
Well, you are in my throne room in my castle, and you will answer to me, or I will see if you enjoy a dungeon for a week. Perhaps it'll teach you some humility.
I have plenty of humility, my lord. And I do not answer to you. I only answer to one king. And if the rest of them wish to answer to you, that's very well and all, and I will remove myself.
You are the wise man. I did not give you leave of my throne room. Gods. So, two guys step in your way.
I just blow them aside.
Well, you're going to need to do something for that.
All right. Yeah. I will call forth a big burst of wind and just blow them aside.
Hang on. We've got to establish how likely that is. It is highly unlikely. So now look at your little magic formula and figure it out, because it's not, bursts of wind don't just happen in throne rooms as a general rule.
Well, we will do this. The door will burst open, and a gust of wind will come in and blow.
All right. That'll make it not impossible, but quite, it's not likely, but a step or two above it. We'll say not highly unlikely, but very unlikely. How about that?
All right. You'll have to remind me on this.
Oh, you're going to make me look this shit up.
I don't
swear to God.
remember.
Isn't there an old rule in role-playing games that magic players have to know how their shit works? I think we used to say that in the old days, didn't we?
Didn't I have a copy of it last time? I think I do.
I think you do. Yeah, I don't know where my. Let me see if I can
Okay,
find.
I'll let me check here because I'm pretty sure I do.
You do that. I'm going to find my copy.
Okay. Freeform magic. There it is.
There it is. Yeah, okay, go ahead. Punch it up.
Trying to.
All right, open it up for yourself. I mean, freeform magic. Here it is.
Oh, hold on. It's
So,
RTF format,
probable,
so it doesn't want to
unlikely,
open.
highly unlikely, widely improbable, and impossible. So this would be unlikely, which is power times 4%. Hey, Squirrel.
All right. I actually passed with a 3.
Yeah.
Wow.
3. So the doors burst open and a gust of wind comes in and knocks the guards over. At which point, Herrick looks directly at you and goes, "Are you going to let this happen?"
Well, actually, I was going to jump in. Laurelin, please. Just stay. Listen.
I'm listening.
Come back in, please. Just listen for now. We're so close. We put so much together so far. Let's not ruin it over this.
I nod and step over the guards and walk towards the throne.
Without actually saying the words, I'm like,
Herrick just listening goes, "And now you know what his pressure point is." Laurelin Lockwald.
he's seen a lot.
I don't care, so have I. Laurelin Lockwald, wizards are not forbidden in Davon. This is not Palabria. We are not religious fanatics here. But if you cannot respect the throne of Davon and the crown of Davon that even your High King has paid respect to, who are you to counsel him?
I respect my lord and I respect my compatriots, and you have shown no respect towards us. I am but a simple man from a humble background. And, sir, respect is earned, not given, and you have not earned any of our respect.
I've earned his, and he points at a Thane.
Well,
Do you think kings are supposed to grovel for your respect? Is that how arrogant you are? Wizards, living in their own world. You have led this man across Albana. Enemies you have made. You've treated with the Witch King of Brooker, haven't you?
it was the only way.
But he knows nothing of this. You have not counseled your king and provided him the one thing he requires: information.
I have given him all the information he needs.
And who decides what he needs? You?
He has appointed me as his wise man, though I'm not sure how wise that is after all we've gone through, or I've gone through.
I have 10,000 cavalry, knights, and infantrymen that I am ready to pledge to the High King based on this very conversation. Perhaps the wise man is not so wise in his arrogance and needs to understand that the games of crowns and thrones are not the games of wizards and wise men and visionary people who don't know how to bathe. You are welcome in Davon, but you are watched. Templar,
Yes.
you are, without a doubt, the most fascinating of all of them.
And why is that?
An Austradi, and from what my informants tell me, one that was to be crucified.
Mm-hmm.
What did you
Correct.
do? What did you do to turn your brothers against you?
I told him that no matter what, it's all the same.
What is all the same?
All the religion, everything is one. They were wrong. I was a heretic.
Have you heard of the Grey Faith?
Mm-hmm. Pretty
Had you heard of the Grey Faith when you made that proclamation to them?
No.
So the High Father touched your mind, your heart, and your soul. What will you do with this freedom?
I think that's been my trouble. I haven't figured it out yet. I'm here to serve the High King, that is true, but aside from that, kind of wondering, trying to find my place in all of this around me.
What is your place?
I wish I knew. I can't figure that out. Except maybe to show everybody, to teach everybody that yes, it's all one.
You have traveled this island, avoided death, and you still are unsure of your place.
Either I'm unsure or I haven't seen it yet, and it's been shown to me.
I believe it was shown to you, but I can only interpret it from my point of view. You must find it for yourself. Good luck. All right, glowing man. I see it. The iridescent glow around you, the touch of the High Father. Is it true you died?
I did. I died in service and protection of the High King.
And yet here you stand before me, a talking corpse.
Not quite. The High Father deemed that my job here was not done, and so brought me back. As I said, that I serve the High King even in death, and also in rebirth.
What is the job the High Father has given you?
I am the paladin of the High Father, and my one duty on this plane is to serve the High King.
So he turns to it and he goes, you see what happens when they get magic and prophecy in their heads? They all speak weird. This plane and blah, it's all very... I have been king for 65 winters. Do you know how many wise men, clerics, paladins, wizards, seers have come before me and talked the same nonsense that I've heard in this room? You are in Davon, sir. Whether or not I like Lockwald, he proved himself with his actions. You, the Templar, Devere, the stinky one, you just talk. I am the this and I am the that, and I have sworn myself to this and that and the other thing. What have you done? I don't know you.
Saved the High King's life and gave my own.
Did you? I wasn't there. I don't know. I haven't traveled the island with you. Why would
He
you
did.
expect anyone else to listen to you? Why would you expect anyone else to believe you? You are easily picked apart as a group of charlatans perpetrating a great scam upon the people of Albana. Do you understand how your enemies think, gentlemen? Do you understand what I'm trying to get across to you? If you wish to win the people and this island, you must do more than talk, and you must do more than run. Action.
Is recruiting Ishmir to the cause of the High King not enough action?
But I've heard you're no longer the prince. Does Tanner know this?
No, does not
It
matter.
does matter to Tanner, I'm
Tanner-
sure. I'm sure Tanner will be
Tanner
very
swears-
upset to find out that the person he pledged his crown to and gave his kingdom to has turned his back on it for a god he does not follow.
I still serve the High King, and Tanir swore his loyalty to the cause of the High King too.
Loyalty is fickle, boy. It blows in the wind like a pennant. You need to understand these things. You're young. You believe words matter. They do not. Actions matter. If you wish to win the people of of Albana, to your fuck, this guy's voice is hard to do. It's killing my throat. To your cause, then you must do something to show the people of Albana that you are for the Albaresh, the Albani, the Aglesh. You understand?
I do.
Then I have a task for you. But you're not going to like it. But first, we will eat, we will drink, and we will celebrate High King Athane. The doors open, and these men come in carrying a very large throne. And they bring it up, and they stand in front of you, Athane, and one of those, my lord, your majesty, if you would step up for a moment, please.
I do.
So they go over and they take the chair you were sitting on, some of the guys, and they remove it, and then they put this old big chair down. Boom.
Probably very uncomfortable.
This was the only thing we brought out of Escaine centuries ago. This was the throne of the last High King. Be seated, if you will. My king.
I stare at it for a moment.
It's old. It's big. It's bigger than his.
Yeah, Athane, no matter what, it's hard for me because Athane does not truly understand the gravity of this,
Yeah.
but is trying to. He knows this means something important, but to him, it's like, hey, you put a chair in front of me, cool. So I'm gonna just kind of nod, show something like reverence, and then sit down.
It is yours. We will keep it here until you have a castle of your own.
Thank you very, very much.
Good.
I will kneel in front of him.
Does this ever stop?
No. Until you put a stop to it. If you learn nothing from me, Athane, be your own man. They are but voices. You are the body. You make the decisions.
Understood.
All right, we will eat, we will party, but first you must go and bathe and redress and put your weapons aside and stop looking like you've come here to invade my castle. I'm just going to get a drink. I'll be right back, guys. I got to put some wet in my throat after doing this asshole's voice.
Quick 5 minutes then.
Sure.
All right.
I thought we were done with the Athane heavy role playing for a while.
Well, if he's still unsure, these moments are going to keep happening.
Bear is going to play on it.
Well, and that's fair. I want to do the right thing. Well, honestly, now in Thane's brain, and this is where I'm trying to run through like 100 scenarios at one time as like this guy's talking, is I'm trying to think, how would Devere have me react in this? Because I kind of been using you as my guide recently on this, and I'm like, oh, but this guy doesn't like how Devere acts. I can already tell that, so I'm supposed to act a certain way. He wants me to, but not to. Thane's just like, I don't get it. Just all I want to do is run in the wind and go back to being a farmer or something, anything. Help, Lord, help me.
Devere only knows the stuffy ways, and he was taught in Calabria, so.
And then the whole thing of like, well, this Pendrick cycle is child stuff. I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, but that's the only reason they're telling me I'm the High King. So if this is a bunch of crap, can I pass it on to somebody else, please?
Well, think about all the kings you've met so far in your journeys, right? So the Jarl of Drael was all about force and power.
Yep. I had to kick him in the nuts.
And you proved yourself to him, right? The king of Air was all about what? What was his whole thing?
That's actually the one I don't remember. When you were saying it before, I was like, I know we were there. I don't remember.
It was the more fairy type place where
the one I ran away.
Well, before you went for your walk in the woods, and there you got Navri falling in love with the princess and all that, right?
Princess Siobhan.
That's where you had the vision of Vortigern.
Okay, I didn't remember his name. That's why I was like, no, because I was like, that sounds really familiar, but I don't know if that's the actual vision I had. I didn't remember the name. Okay.
Yeah, you had that weird conversation with the ghost.
With Sean Connery, yeah.
Yeah, that was right. You talked to Vortigern. So that was how the King of Ire was. The King of Ire was all about tradition and all about, respecting the fairy nature of the Misty Isles and blah, 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 blah. And you appeased him.
The woo-woo.
Yeah, he was the woo-woo king. Tanir the fourth Sultan of...
Yep, I remember that one.
What was he all about?
He seemed like he was about tradition and religion.
Yes, and you appeased him.
Well, Navri appeased him.
Well, your vassal appeased
him,
and that's how you want him to your side. Though I think Herrick might be giving you a fair heads up that you might need to fix a fucking fence there because, again, the guy that he gave his crown to and his throne to has suddenly turned around and joined another religion that...
Well, dying wasn't exactly in the plans.
You guys don't understand. You did that. This is what Herrick's trying to get through your heads. No one else saw this shit. So you're just telling them things, right? And that's what Herrick is. Herrick is in his late 70s, is going to die. And most people think Herrick is only alive because of pure pugnacious stubbornness, right? And refuses to die.
I like him.
And he has literally nobles vying for power because he refuses to name an heir, and he's produced no heir. And they're like, he's going to die, and we're all going to fight against each other. And of course, Calabria is pushing that as hard as they can because you've met the bitch, and the bitch is either Evelyn was very mercurial, not in control of her own kingdom. Therefore, any edicts she makes are very explosive and very dramatic because she's trying to exert her control when she has none. She's a puppet of the Ostradi. She's a puppet of the Othasians by way of Oski, right? The banks and the merchant houses own her. So you can't win her to your side. It's impossible because of the power brokers that pull her strings. And this is all Herrick's trying to tell you is just think for yourself and be yourself because that's what he believes makes a good rule. Whether he's right or not is not the debate. It's what he believes. He believes a good king is one that thinks for himself, listens to the council, but makes decisions that sometimes might even go against the council. And that's what he's trying to get through Thane's head a little bit, right? And he's fucking with your party. He's openly fucking with your party to prove a point. And beautifully, Navri, Devere, and Laurelin prove the point for him by getting offended, by being this, by being that, or you don't understand, like by basically challenging back against him. I'd only respect one king, or I've died and come back, or you know what I mean? So he's trying to show you something. Now, whether Thane learns or not is not the issue.
Thane learned. No, he said something earlier that Thane that Athane, that actually struck the nerve with Athane. All this right now, as me as the player, all this right now is show, because Athane is stuck. He heard what he needed to hear already earlier. Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll talk about that in wrap up.
Yeah.
What that was. You wrote it down so you won't forget?
Oh, I can't forget.
Oh, good. That'll be nice. Okay, back to the game now that Mr. DeVere is returned. So you are bathed, perfumed, oiled, scented, whatever you need, fresh clothing, nice as they have. It's not Calabrian nice because they're all they're cloth merchants, but nice. Dale is washed, his beard is trimmed, his hair is cleaned and brushed. And,
wow, look at you.
And he's got a scowl on his face. Yeah.
They've given him like nice prophety robes, like they look like religious gear, type of idea. The poor kitty would do. You're all basically given nice stuff to wear and, what have you. And then there's a massive meal going on. You are all given a seat at the king's table. And you can see from the two tables that are immediately off the king's table, and then there's a bunch of staggered tables out from there, he's put all the nobles on the left and the right. And you can just tell from their faces which ones are pissed that they're not sitting where you guys are, and which ones are clearly 100% loyal to the crown. You can see it in their eyes. They're so entrenched in their bullshit about him not having an heir that they're not even hiding it on their faces anymore. This couple dozen nobles that are in here. You know what I'm saying? So you guys are smart enough to be seeing these faces and realize shit's going on. Laurelin.
Yep.
You know that thing you can see
Yeah. By the way, I'm not sitting at the cool kids table.
No, you are. They lead you to your chair.
Okay.
Like, Lauren's not an idiot. He knows you don't disrespect kings in their houses that much, man. Come on. Is he going to, if he wants to, go ahead. It's your character's agency. What's he want to do? Where does he want to sit?
No, I'm just standing by the door because he doesn't eat very much anyways.
Well, you can see that many of these nobles have magic attached to them. Either through jewelry they're wearing having runes and sigils that are projecting magic off of them. A couple of them you see have spirits bound to either their weapon or their armors that they're wearing.
Yeah.
Like, there's some heavy-duty magic in this room.
Okay.
Just so you're clear.
Let me just say, like out of game, that I'm proving the point as well.
Yeah, that's fine. But here's the difference. Kings don't give a fuck about your point.
Yeah, I know they don't.
But it will be interesting to see if Lorman can get his head back if he fucks up too hard. But anyway, back to the thing. So, there's minstrels and dancing and what have you, and all this kind of stuff going on. And it's quite lovely. And, there's pretty maids who want to dance with everybody. And, it's a lovely party going on. And it's all very fucking political. And you can feel the daggers under the table. You understand? At one point, Herrick looks at you and goes, "Why does your wizard test me in front of my people?"
He sees things.
"I don't care. Does he not understand by defying my rules, he forces me to have to enforce them to keep my nobles in check? For if I show weakness to him, they will see weakness in me, and that will encourage them to take action against me."
Is Lurlin's chair open? Like
Yes.
wherever, like, okay. I'm gonna grab a tankard of whatever the hell is in front of us, wine, beer, whatever it is. What's the custom? Is it tink tink tink, or is it like, hey?
It depends. In Calith, it would be, "Hey."
Right. All right, I'm Kalethi. I'm like, hey!
So everybody sort of, it's a piece of carrots.
Great feast. Thank you, King Herrick. That was his name, right?
Herrick the Third.
Yeah, Herrick. Thank you for this honor. Thank you for your time. To the men here who have saved my life more than once, and whose one day I'd like to save their lives. Laurelin, please take a seat over here so that I can pass you this cup. And I take one drink, and I
pass through the crowd slowly, leaning on my staff, and stand beside the king and take the cup.
As you approach the table, everybody give me, I believe it's perception. God, we got to play this game more often.
Spot hidden.
Spot hidden.
Spot hidden. Well, I guess whatever you use for surprise. I'm so rusty on this fucking system right now because we haven't played in months.
I critically passed.
I'm sorry, what?
I critically passed.
You don't even know what you're rolling.
You said spot hidden.
No, Andy said spot.
Yeah, I said, is it? I mean, I think that may be it. But
I'm waiting for the Cthulhu expert underneath the answer.
We use spot hidden.
Okay, make spot hidden checks, everybody.
oh crap! I rolled the wrong dice. I don't know what I rolled.
a hard success.
Thank you, Andy.
Nope.
I rolled a
So,
0-4,
critical.
which is a huge success.
Nice.
Regular success.
Regular, 31 on a 32.
Okay. Everybody who succeeded.
Sorry, my microphone is picking up knobheads in my neighborhood.
Well, you do live in Knobs End.
I got knobheads here too.
Everyone who succeeded can react. Anyone who failed did not, and anyone who critically succeeded has initiative for this one. As basically about 10 different guys in the crowd stand up and pull daggers out and go, "Death to the usurper!" And one of them is right behind you, Laurelin, and is trying to stab you.
Okay, so I have initiative, I guess.
Yes, you do.
So, who's going at who?
Well, there's a guy about to stab you in the fucking throat. So there's a guy going at you.
All right. Well, I'm going to turn around and swing up my staff, but I'm going to use magic to block his.
You're going to use magic? You never do that.
Yeah.
What's your magic you're going to do?
Basically, I'm just going to use the magical forces to, actually parry his attack. So it's a likely thing because I'm using my staff. But yeah.
So you want to substitute your magic skill for your melee skill?
Exactly.
I'll allow it.
Okay.
All right. So he's trying to hit you. He gets a success. Nothing spectacular.
Okay. So straight power, I'm assuming.
No magic skill. Don't you have a magic
Okay,
skill?
magic skill. Okay, yeah. I pass.
What'd you get? But how much? What type of success did you get?
It is just a regular success.
So you guys he tries to stab you, and you catch his wrist, and he sort of and he's pushing. He's much stronger than you. Okay, Dale, you got a critical success or a hard success? Or
Hard
something?
success.
Okay, what are you doing?
I'm going to go, and pick up an apple if there's one in front of me and throw it at probably the one attacking Laurelin to hit him on the head.
Well, there's
Just to
one
distract-
charging up to attack Ithane, basically.
Oh, they're all okay.
They're all
Then
like, they're spread out in the crowd, and one of them is now like leaping over the table towards Ithane.
in that case, I'll throw at that one.
All right, give me a roll.
So my throw roll is a complete and utter fail.
So the apple goes flying by. Was it a fumble? or was it
Yeah,
just
yeah, pretty much.
Was it a fumble?
No, it's only
Okay.
89. Blimey, come on.
Close. So the apple flies by Devere.
Yeah.
Devere, what'd you get?
I got a critical success.
Well
There's
done.
someone trying to kill your High King right in front of you.
Precisely, I'm going to scream as a newly anointed knight of Davon. I proclaim this cowardly attempt of at
Cool.
assassination.
So as you're blathering on, he stabs the High King.
As I'm running for, as I run, I'm going to run forward and try and barrel him out the way.
Okay, that's what I wanted to hear. Then you can go play
but-
after.
Yeah. I'm going to be chuntering while I'm going to be shouting when I'm doing it in his usual.
I'm just
nonsense.
watching. Like this guy's like, oh, he's like, I proclaim this heathen cowardly act and blah blah.
Yes.
Regicide. All right, give me a. What are you using? Unarmed?
Yeah, it'd be fighting brawl, I guess.
Okay.
That is a good success.
All right. He gets a fumble, so you catch him and basically pin him down on the table. Basically, you've got him pinned, and you can take. You actually have taken his dagger out of his hand.
Yes.
All right, Malachi, what'd you get, Gerhard?
Well, I got a 31, a regular success, so I don't have
Okay,
initiative.
so you can act. What do you want to do?
So is there still the guy on Laurelin?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna try and tackle him because I'm seeing that the High King's kind of safe, right?
Yep, I'll give you a plus 20% since he's currently engaged with Laurelin, and you can sort of blindside him.
Okay, and that would be unarmed.
The red greeting, shut up.
What's unarmed skill called? I forget.
Brawl.
Thank
Brawl.
Fighting brawl.
What the hell? Oh,
Comes after fast talk and before
I
first
got
aid.
that's 47. 33 on a 47.
Did you add the 20% I gave you?
Yeah.
Okay, so you only have 27 normally in your brawl?
Yeah.
You're the worst knight. Okay, so anyway, you manage to sort of tackle the guy, and he drops his dagger onto the floor. It clatters onto the floor, and Perrin dives for it and grabs it and slides under a table.
Go Perrin!
Okay, Navri, did you succeed?
I did, just a regular
That's fine.
success.
You get to go. What are you going to do?
Well, he's been tackled to the ground, so I guess I'll go up to him and I'll take my sword out of the scabbard and point it at his
There's
throat.
like 6 other guys with daggers, by the way. You've dealt with.
Oh, right, okay. I'll just go for the nearest one then. That's like, trying to attack the High
So
King.
basically, you're standing in front of him protectively. Is that it?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. And then Laurelin, so everybody succeeded.
Whoa. Not me.
I can't hear Bear.
I turned off my mic in case it was mine. I think your mic just made all that noise. Okay.
We're
Everybody
good now.
good?
That sounded like a short.
What noise?
Yeah, it was definitely your mic then if you didn't hear
You
it.
didn't hear the noise.
Yeah, it went like.
Yeah.
At which point the roof flies off the castle. And,
Laurelin's
Laurel's
work.
magic again. Isn't
That's
it?
weird.
what?
Oh,
It's Laurel's magic doing it.
Malachi, your mic is fucking up, man. You might want to.
Is it?
Mine?
No, Malachi.
Oh,
Gerhard.
You're hurt. Bonk. See if we can fix that. Okay, so we now go to initiative for everybody else, and basically there are now knights jumping up from their stations, pulling out their ceremonial daggers because you're not supposed to have a fucking sword in here, Navri. It's a fucking king's feast. No weaponry. Daggers are acceptable. Just in case, so it's okay. He doesn't know any better because in Ishmir we do things differently, and that's fine. And they're basically just falling on these guys and just like can't, and in the horrifying seconds, other than the one that Devere tackled, and the one that who tackled the one that was on Laurelin? Malachi, Gerhard tackled. The rest are all fucking dead. Like just dead. Herrick didn't blink. He just sat there watching it all play out. So it was chaos.
Should have a cup up.
So he just sort of looks at you and he goes, "You better get used to this, boy. This is your future unless you tame the island.
This isn't the first time this has happened.
Won't be the last."
Are you okay?
Oh, I guarantee you, they'll either have Austrati or Palabrian identifiers on them once we take those 2 prisoners, interrogate them. My king! And they just grab the 2 guys that you've got pinned and they lead them out. My interrogators are very good. We will get answers, I promise you. But it would seem Our party has been disrupted. I will meet you gentlemen in the morning with what news, information, and knowledge. Guards will be posted at all of your doors. You'll all stay in the royal apartments tonight. And he looks directly at Laurelin. If that meets your acceptance, Grand Wizard.
I just nod.
Good. In the morning, gentlemen. And with
That's-
that, you guys are let out.
Looking back at the table, like, I want that food.
Well, food is definitely brought to the apartments for you guys. And the apartments they put you in, it's a number of rooms around a central common area, so you can all talk to each other and interact with each other. It's like a drum tower that has like apartments on the outside and then a central area with no windows or anything, just in between the rooms. Like a dormitory.
It's your day room?
Shut up.
No, I mean, just something like that. Seriously.
Yeah.
Oh,
something
okay.
like- So you're all there, and you can all role play and talk. Tara has a dagger. It's his first weapon of his own. He's quite happy.
His story is, I captured this from the enemy, straight from...
Does the castle have its own chapel?
Not a Catholic one.
It's all the same.
Davon is Pendrick Reformation.
Okay. Then I will be in my room at the foot of my bed, clutching my crucifix and praying for guidance. Because I have spent all of my life wearing the colours of my family, which became the colours of Palabria. After all, we persuaded them. The red and the gold would look marvellous. But now it seems that I must cast those colours aside. But those colours still mean something to me, despite the way Palabria turned against me. I would feel like I'm turning my back on my family if I was to wear the colours of a different kingdom. So I am praying for answers. What must I do? And for those who don't see, there is actually a tear rolling down Devere's face.
Give me a power check, please. So power times 5 to get a percentile.
Oh,
Yeah,
pass.
Regrin's right. It would have been a 4-inch blade rule for the meal.
That is a pass.
This pass. So as you're praying, you feel warmth. You feel calm. You feel a presence in the room. And the presence behind you, in a slightly reverberating voice, says, "You are on the right path. You will be a king. Your queen awaits." And then the presence is gone, and you feel calm.
What is the right path? Do I accept the colours of Davon? Or do I continue to wear the colours of my family? I don't know. But I'm going to spend a long time just kneeling, thinking.
Okay. While you're doing that, the rest of you are all out in the common area and can interact with each other as you see fit. Oh, Dale, give me a power check, please.
Sorry, me.
Dale and Laurelin and Navri, fuck. 3 of you, give me power checks. Your power times 5 roll under on a percentile.
Yeah, that's a I could spend luck for a hard success, but that's I'm sorry, it's a hard success. Could get a
Hard success.
could get
You
extra.
felt power
Oh, that's
and presence
fail.
coming from Devere's room. So what'd you get, Navri?
That's a 93. Not quite a fumble, but on a 50.
Yeah, you're up your own ass. You don't detect anything. Navri's still a little in his own head right now. It's okay. Laurelin,
I fell by 1.
nothing for you either. But Dale, you felt it. There was a strong presence coming from Devere's room.
All right. Well, I had a great conversation with the king. Gave me a lot to think about, and I'd like your opinions.
Seems like a very
What?
stubborn man.
Oh,
He seems like a very stubborn man, High King.
when you're that, I hope to be that old someday and that stubborn. If
Well, you need to be.
Well, hear me out first. I mean, we can talk about his attitude later. He's not going to be alive long anyway. He's convinced that we have to go to war against Calabria and the Estradi. I would, if possible, I would like to find a way that uses their... the religion is the only word I can think of against them. If they're not going to follow this Pendrick cycle, whether it's real or not, obviously you guys believe it. I think you convinced me, and so many of the other people we came across believe it. I think that's still the way we go. Are you guys versed enough at all? Is there a way that we can use Calabria for our benefit without going directly to war against them? And are we pretenders? Are you guys propping me up for some play somewhere where it's like, look, this kid's going to send the entire island to war. He's actually the anti-High King.
Hearing the voices out in the courtyard, Dale comes out clutching the book to his chest, and he looks different, shall we say, with this these fine robes, and the hair has been trimmed and that. And he's scowling a bit. He's also looking around and goes towards De Vere's quarters, but with the door shut, he doesn't. I take it there's a door. Yeah. He almost goes to knock or to open the door, but then he changes his mind and turns back. And he heard the words of the High King. No, High King, no. The cycle is real, and you are the High King. There will be war. There will be terrible war. Whether it's with Calabria
that's for the Witch Queen.
No, it's there are other things as well. It is clear in the prophecies
that we have to go to war against Calabria.
No.
That we have to go to war against the Estradi. That we have to go to war against that major, huge continent to the east. That doesn't sound like a winning proposition to me.
There are other enemies as well.
Oh, great. Who are they?
Difficult to say, but they're evil powers. They will be unleashed.
One at a time, please.
Together to fight them, and you will be High King.
I don't know how any of these people do this. Anybody else? Where's De Vere?
I feel he is busy.
Navri, you always seem to have your head on your shoulders. What? Do you want to go to war against Calabria?
I mean, I don't necessarily want to, but if it's unavoidable... I mean, what the king says might be true. Like, there's no way to get them on our side. So, at that point, we just, take that as what it is, and then we try and unite everything we can against that. We deal with one problem at a time.
Can somebody go get De Vere, please? Or did he go out?
No, I think he's there. I will go. I will go hiking.
Locked.
And I will go to the door and quietly tap on it to start with.
There were also the pendants we found.
So, De Vere,
Now we can't hear Gerhard. So
Oh.
hold on. Let Brother Dale.
Sorry. Let's sort that out. Sort that out.
Come on. Thank you. Making up your mind. Well, there were the pendants we found on the Estrada we defeated. They may be getting help from the Witch Queen.
So how do we use that against them? How do we point them towards our enemy without attacking them directly?
I don't know. I mean, I'm concerned that everybody's in league together. That's against us already.
Did Brother Dale get Devere?
I've gone and knocked on the door. So Devere,
I don't reply.
I'll open the door.
You see Devere kneeling in prayer at the end of his bed. A small pool of damp pool is on the carpet at the end of his bed.
Did they clean you as well? Devere? The High King would like your presence.
I look towards you and you see his, my eyes are red and my face is streaked with tears.
I'll look back at the High King and the others and then pull the door to. And Sir Devere, please get yourself together. The High King needs you.
Yes, of course. Yes, of course.
And I'll look around the room and see if there's something like a wash stand or something and a
chamber
flannel.
pot.
Yes, chamber pots, really?
Well, not the basin. The basin.
I know. Yeah, so there's something with water. Yeah.
Sure.
So
That's
I'll go
what
that, and I'll get the flannel and sort of tentatively give it to him and sort of indicate to wash his face.
I
Careful,
will.
the water's very cold here. You don't heat it.
That is the least of my worries. Thank you for your compassion, Dale.
The High King is talking about war with Palambria and others, and I tried to tell him that there will be war, but maybe not with them. But anyway, yes, he would like your advice.
Very well. I will be out in 2 minutes.
Yes, of course. So he backs out the door again and says, "Sir Devere's coming. He'll be here shortly."
Oh, does he have a girl in there?
I didn't see one.
Oh.
He
I
didn't
will.
have a boy either. Is that what he was meant to be doing? Where's Perrin? Oh no. Yes, no, he doesn't. It was just him. It was just him.
Having washed
I'm
my
waiting. I'm waiting.
washed
I mean,
my
unless
face-
any of you guys have anything you want to say before Devere gets here, anything more about what? Okay.
Having washed my face, I will place my helm on my head to somewhat hide my reddened eyes, and stride proudly out of the doorway. You summoned me, sir.
Going to war?
As Brother Dale has said, it does seem inevitable. If you look at some of our titles, we have Fallen Templar. How will he redeem himself? But by battle. I am the knight.
It wasn't he told? Didn't he tell? I can't remember if that was in or out of character. Never mind.
I am the Knight Commander. I already have some good people of Palabria who have pledged to fight alongside me. I fear civil war in my land, but I feel it may well be necessary, because my former queen cannot be reasoned with.
All right, Knight Commander, do you have any knights right now?
Hello.
No, but
Well, we'll work on that.
Aaron.
If you're convinced that we're going to have to go to war, there's nothing civil about a civil war. I would rather we do this as unified as we can be, as quickly as can be.
we have allies. We have strong allies.
Yes, but we don't have soldiers with us right now. And many of them are still worried about their own kingdoms. They may have
Sir,
pledged loyalty
if
to
I'm-
me,
I feel-
but we haven't proven anything yet. Yes, Navry. Well, what?
So, if I may, to revisit Ishmir or something, I don't know, patch up things, because has thrown a spanner in the works, I think.
We have the forces of Davon on our side.
That's
They
one force.
fine army. We have the forces of Dale on our side. I do not know their strength.
Well, how do we muster these forces? How do we have a show of strength?
Maybe I should lead a retinue to the outskirts of Palabria, where so many.
So you can be captured and taken to the queen who wants your head?
Not if I have enough Devonian knights with me.
So you want to announce a war?
No. I merely had that a large number of people pledge their allegiance to me
And where are these people now?
with their families.
So we don't have anybody.
That is what I'm saying. Maybe I should
Understood.
go to get them. And maybe your newfound friend, King of Davon, might see fit to kick them out.
How about instead of sending yourself, who's recognizable, you send somebody in your place, like we sent Friar Philip previously.
Look what happened to him.
That was
No,
because that
How
was
do
from
I inspire my men by being here?
you make a call. This is, of course, subject to the approval of King Eric here, saying that the forces can come in, but I'm sure that he'll either agree or we'll come to some accommodation on that. Look at that, I learned a word.
Well done. Well done. Well, yes, and I think such political moves are best in your hands, Ithane. Your honesty is refreshing.
If anybody else has anything to say, please do it now. Laurelin, you've heard everything that everybody has said now. You're the wise man. You have all the information here that I can provide, that they can provide, apparently. What are your words of wisdom?
Do you seek my words of wisdom, High King?
Yes, I asked you last intentionally.
Well, you do call me your wise man, though it seems I'm not sure at this point it is so wise. Do you think it's wise?
I think you've done things that I don't understand, but I think everybody has done that. You have not done anything to jeopardize what we've put together here. What, honestly, I feel you have put together here. And yes, you creep me out. And yes, I don't understand what it is that you do or why you do it half the time. but it has apparently steered us on the right course so far. So unless you're doubting yourself, why should I doubt you?
Very well. Well, your other wise man, the king of Davon, he does speak some truth in that you must make the decision. You are the High King. Now, you have asked for my wisdom, and my wisdom is that eventually we will go to war, whether it is against this Dark Queen or Palabria or the nations to the east. We will eventually fall to war. If you do not wish to see bloodshed, there may be a way to not have bloodshed. But I am no politician. So in that regard,
What is that way?
that I don't know.
Oh.
That's what I was about to say, my High King. I'm no politician. I'm but a simple sage, a seer, a magician, a wise man in some ways, but in this way, I'm not so wise.
Then let me ask you the question I asked them. You don't care for these religions much. That's pretty obvious. Whether you agree or disagree, we can.
You have misunderstood me. Religion has its place.
I'm talking specifically these religions. You've been pretty clear about the old ways being your way.
It is my way, but it is not the way of the people anymore. And the
That,
religions are an old way in a form that they don't quite understand.
but you don't share their views, which makes it easier for you to see from the outside how to use them against them. Is there a way we can use Astradi? That's not a country. You know what I'm saying. The Astradi and the people of Palabria, the Palabrians, for our benefit without direct confrontation?
Well, it is possible that we could use both forces against each other.
I hear their fingers are too intertwined.
Well, maybe there's some way to untwine their fingers.
That Sir Devere?
I'm not sure I know what what he's alluding to.
Gerhardt,
Yes.
I just said Gerhard would.
tell me the weakness of the Astradi.
How would that's kind of out of character, but what would the Palabria think of the Australia using magic?
They'd hate it.
They would?
Yes.
Well, then maybe if we can somehow show the Palabria that the Astradi are in cohorts with magic.
Are they?
Yeah. We have found pendants on the Astradi we defeated. They were getting this magical assistance.
How does a pendant equal magic? Lorland, are you aware of this?
Yeah. He knew too. We found the pendants.
I mean, but are you aware of the magic? Recap of last session, please.
These pendants are not familiar to me. They may be in league with some magical force. I assume that maybe they were in league with the Black Queen. If so, then they are definitely in league with dark magic.
Oh shit!
Can you determine that?
Oh.
It is possible. Do we have the pendants here?
And Brother Dale, what is it that you do?
What would you say you do here?
We're gonna go ahead and put a couple of people under you.
And he's clutching the book to his chest. I have an understanding of the cycle of the.
Do you know magic?
Not really.
Do you
I know-
fight?
I know prayer. I fight. No, I don't fight. Despite what you saw when you first met me. That was the will of the gods.
That was a good throw.
Um,
So how can you help us?
I can see the prophets, the prophecies for what they are. I have seen. I am the final prophet, I believe. I have seen in the writings what others have ignored or said don't exist. There will come the grey faith, the unified church, which will encompass everything.
Before that, I don't want to go to war. We know we already have to go to war against the Witch Queen. Does prophecy say anything about how war can be avoided?
Avoided, no.
Okay.
It says there will be a great.
But isn't that for the Witch Queen of Brooka? Convince me otherwise.
No, it may not be the Witch Queen. The
May not.
prophecies are clear. There is a great evil, a great war that will be fought. The evil will be defeated, but it will be a great
Doesn't
war.
everybody say that for every war? I grew up with these stories when we were traveling, selling our wares. Oh, there's the good side and the bad side. Oh, it was for this purpose or that purpose. My dad
It's
told
not
me.
good and bad. It's not good and bad. That is that the Grey Faith cares about is the order and chaos. You will bring order. It is the chaos that has to be defeated.
But nothing in there on how. You can't fight. You can't cast. You don't do magic. And your interpretation of the prophecies are maybe and what if.
Prophecies are what they are.
Isn't that what all prophecies are? Like, King?
Yeah, which is why I don't tend to believe them and why I didn't believe you guys on this whole Pendrick cycle at first.
The Witch Queen
Now I don't
can
know.
be
I was
defeated.
starting to believe it, but now I'm starting to not believe it.
You talk of fighting the different peoples, the different kingdoms, the lands. They must all be united. Then we can defeat the Witch Queen.
If we have to go to war against Palabria, I will do it. If we can muster up the soldiery to do it with our allies. I'm trying to avoid that. I would rather use Palabria against the Witch Queen in a way that maybe they don't. You guys are smarter than me. I know this.
You must unite all of the lands. Then the Witch Queen can be opposed.
How, pray tell, do you suppose we unite such a divided land? Before you came into my room, Dale, I was deep in prayer, and I received word from my God. I received confirmation that at least I am on the right path. Now,
What?
the path I am on seems to be one of conflict with my former kingdom, the kingdom that originally knighted me and which treated my family so well, but the same kingdom that also turned against my family, stripped me of my honors, killed my blood, took everything that I know and love and tossed it away like a rabbit carcass that has been gnawed on by a beggar. Now what I am left is what I have here. What I have left is what I have here. But I also have knowledge that there were many in my lands who do not support the current regime. There were many in my lands that would come over to fight for us. Thus, I don't believe we would fight the entire might of Palabria. There will be those who will fight for me, our cause. There will be those that understand what we fight for is right, and what the Queen now fights for is evil.
Was your
And
What I
how
asked
do you
in-
get them to rally to your side? This is what.
That is what
If
I
we
said.
send you, you die.
Not if I have a large retinue of Devonian knights with
And
me.
if
I am
Devonian knights
careful.
enter Palabria, we have declared war.
Do they have to see us?
Wait, I'm so. Oh, Palabria doesn't have spies?
Palabria is a large place.
You enter Keleth, we'd be ready for you before you could even like set up a tent.
Very well. Very well. Then we shall have to get messages sent. We will have to get word sent via messengers. Those who are trained to be fleet, those who are trained to move without being noticed, to get messages to as many of the Palabrian villages as possible. A message that they can safely cross the border and fight under the true banner. Not
Then we
the
need to.
fake
Then we
banner.
need to talk with King. I always forget his dumb name. Eric. Wait, I actually like this guy too. Well, let's get approval from King Herrick first that he's okay. What's the word? Beeswaxing these people in the land here.
If we can train them to being an organized force, then it can only help.
Is this something you all? I don't want to say
Palabria.
agree to, but is this something you all accept?
My king, I accept whatever you accept, but I will say that if you wish to avoid bloodshed, first off, I think you're being a bit unfair. As your wise man, I will say we do not have the wisdom or the knowledge to know how to avoid the bloodshed at this point. But if we can find the key to breaking that bloodshed, then maybe we can come up with the solution you're looking for. But right now, none of us have the knowledge you're seeking.
So how do we find this key?
Like I said earlier, we need to find what divides our common enemy and what we can use against them.
Okay.
And we do not know that right now. We need to find a way to do that.
Maybe
Aaron has fallen asleep, by the way.
maybe the
So is everybody
messengers
watching?
can start to spread rumors that the Witch Queen is in league with the Queen of Palabria
Or the Estradi.
and the Estradi. But I'm sure they know that she's in league with the Estradi. Once they know that there is magic involved, my people are suspicious. My people are very, very superstitious, very protective of their beliefs. And I'm afraid, Laurelin, many of my people would see you hung and celebrate it.
That's nothing
But-
new. There's many people that have want to hang me. It failed.
Well, if we can work these pendants then, and somehow make that convincing.
Do you have the pendants with you?
I would have taken one. Like when I stripped him of the armor, I would have kept it.
Are you showing it to them?
Yeah. Oh, I will.
Dale, Laurelin, and Navri, you don't even need to roll. The pendants are radiating with energy. What you do need to do is make a knowledge check to see if you can figure out what kind of energy it is. Obviously, Laurelin and Dale will be a little bit better on that. This would be,
Education
education check.
Can I use my
or a cold?
third sight?
It'll give you a plus 20% to the skill.
Okay.
Oh, not my night tonight.
Yeah, if it's education, then 48 under 75. So yeah.
Wow. You smart.
Laurelin?
I passed.
Okay. This is not witchcraft. This is not black magic. This is not even white magic. This is divine energy coming off of them. These are holy items.
Brother
The
Dale,
Ostradi, sorry, real quick, just so you know, the Ostradi are a zealotrous group of Ostorian orthodoxy. Right? They believe in no pleasure, no frivolity. They only mate once a year, and the whole point is to produce children to continue the line and stuff like that. Right? So they don't do baubles. They don't do decoration. Just so you know. Malachi Gerhardt,
Yeah.
I need you to give me a power check.
Ooh.
Double check. Okay. 40 on the 04 on the 50.
Nice. You can feel the power of the Primarch on it.
Okay. Who's the Primarch again?
Primarch Isaac Achenholz of Ostrad.
Okay.
He is the head of the Ostradi. You can feel him. You've been in his presence. When you became a Templar, you were in his presence, and you can feel that presence.
Yeah,
Laura, give me an education check. Spot hidden, I guess, would be proper for this. Add 20 for your super sight.
I passed with a better success, not a critical one.
Okay, well, with a better success, you're starting to get a very disturbing feeling that this pendant is a two-way channel. They could very well be hearing everything you've been saying.
I think, and you would have to consult Brother Dell, because this energy that is emanating from these pendants is not of my ways. It is some kind of divine energy, and I believe that maybe our enemies are using this to hear everything we are saying.
Isn't divine good? Aren't we the good guys?
Not always.
There are different divines. There are different creatures or gods or whatever they're called that radiate divine energy, that provide divine energy. It doesn't mean they're all good.
So what does this mean?
It means we might be compromised.
Then we must get rid of these pendants right away. Does every Ostradi carry one?
Yes, we must destroy them.
Each one did, didn't they?
They did, yes.
Yeah.
But you know, Gerhardt, that these are not standard issue.
Yeah, not every Ostradi is going to have one.
Just can't catch a break.
And I would agree with DeVere. I think we should destroy them.
Well, I know the island now can be unified.
I suggest we drop them down the castle's latrine, so all they ever hear now is the sound of shit being dropped upon them.
You know what? That's a great idea.
Off to the privy with thee. Yep. So you drop them down the privy. It's getting late, and you're all starting to feel that you need to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So you do. None of you have a good sleep. Thane, you dream of war. Cody, use magic to eavesdrop on them. Says Law Dog for $5 American. Thank you.
By the way, thanks for all the super chats, Law Dog.
Really appreciate it, man. So basically, you dream of war. You dream of blood. You dream of yourself in the middle of a battlefield, older, your hands covered in blood, and you see all the kings you've met laughing at you. Laurelin, you dream of ravens, and their cawing is laughter. You're being mocked. Dale, you dream of the first church of the United Faith, on fire as Austrati knights with faces like demonic monsters burn and kill and murder all around you. Gerhard, you dream of the Primarch. You dream of being chained and crucified. Devere, you dream of a castle far away in Othay, and you dream of a beautiful woman being murdered by agents seeking revenge on you. Yes, her. And Navri, you dream of your family being beheaded by an enraged Tanir who cries about being betrayed for a pagan faith. But eventually, sunlight wakes you, the morning comes, and there's a knocking at the common door to the room. Who will answer it?
I guess I will.
So you answer the door and you see Sir Lester, the knight you first met when you arrived in Davon, and he looks at you and he goes, Your Majesty, I'm not accustomed to kings answering their own doors.
Oh, come on in.
My regent, King Harrick requests you and your people in the war room. I am to inform you that you have but about an hour to bathe, dress, breakfast, and join us there.
Thank you.
The gods will show you the way. And he sort of bows and scrapes his way away and then leaves.
Gonna knock on all the doors. Get up!
Yes, he's the High King, but this is like college at the door.
I'm up.
Now, did anybody keep a pendant, or did you literally throw them all down the privy?
Privy.
Privy.
Laurelyn?
Not keep a pendant.
Okay, just making sure.
I'm not going to pull that because we are already said I was going to destroy them. So
Fair enough. What did you say, Malachi?
If we would have had, I would have only had one, and it was the one that I shown. We would have just gotten rid of it.
Yep. Okay. So the king is waking you all up.
Okay. Get ready.
Get up, we got an hour. Dress in your finest.
Well,
I'd like to go to the privy
Okay.
and communicate via my ring piece.
A little morning news flash for them. Is that it?
Yes.
All right. Fair enough.
But yeah. Otherwise, yes. Go to the war room.
Fireworks. Oh, that's weird. Was that your cat? All right, we'll wait for Cody to get back from the bathroom, and then we'll continue, unless any of you have any role-playing you want to do with each other.
Where's Perrin? Because shouldn't he have answered the door? Shouldn't he have been alert to look after his king's wishes?
Well,
That's what I was thinking.
Oh my god, you guys are now treating him like a manservant? Wow.
No, he's guarding his king. He should be.
He's
the one to make
asleep.
sure.
He's a kid.
Yeah.
He's had a big day.
I can't expect you to do anything I wouldn't do myself, so now take that as a lesson. You can answer doors.
Oh. But now that he's awake, he's getting breakfast for you all.
Oh, he's being so forceful now.
Is he still talking about his dagger?
No, but he's wearing it quite proudly.
Nice.
Oh, you must really have had a good conversation with the king then, eh?
Como? What do you mean?
can we?
Look, he seems more confident already.
Oh, you're talking about him. Sorry, they were
Yeah,
all talking about Perrin. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Sorry.
Fucking stoner.
Yeah, I'm trying to balance this whole character growth thing and the fact we only play like once a year. So.
All right.
Oh, let's be fair. Let's be honest. The last time it was my fault. Well, it's my stepdad's fault. He had to go and die.
Silly mortal.
Stupid mortality.
I'm going to sit and chat with
Yeah,
Perrin.
that thing.
Say, Perrin,
We will show you.
it seems that we will now be fighting on the side of Davon, and likely against Pelabria.
Eh bien.
I would like for them to make you a Gambeson.
Why?
What colours would you like?
Red and gold.
Red and gold.
And blue.
You'd like to mix the colours of the two?
My taunt, she wear red, gold, and blue is her colors, and your colors are red, gold. So if I wear red, gold, and blue, I wear both your colors.
And what's the colours of Davon?
Davon? Oh my god. Good question. I've never thought about that, to be honest, you silly player.
There you go. There's the for the end. John gets the points because you know what? He stumped the DM.
Well, I know none of them have purple because we made purple for the High King.
Bronze and dark blue, like a midnight blue.
So the blue works.
Well, no, because you guys, he's talking about, you know what her colors are. They're the colors of the nobility of Othay. A royal blue, a crimson red, and a shimmering gold.
That said something, wouldn't it?
But we should fight in combined colours of Pelabria and Davon against the Pelabrian heretics and reclaim the land.
Should we not have the colors of the High King?
I agree with Perrin. Should we
Point?
not?
Pardon.
We could. Maybe you have a point. Maybe you're wiser than me, young Perrin.
Okay,
Maybe you are.
if you wish.
You know, it works. If you mix red and you with blue, did you know you get purple?
Okay. Yes. We.
Good. Then that is what we shall do. That is how we will mix the colours. We'll fight in purple.
This kid lives in fear of you. You know that, right?
He lives in fear of an imbecile.
Well, he doesn't really end. Rough storm going through outside. 1 minute, I may need to rescue my robot mower.
I'm back.
Did you rescue your robot mower?
No, apparently it's home. Either my wife did it or it's home. So
R2D2 is all good now? Okay.
it's like a Roomba for my lawn, man. Alabama's too hot. I'm not cutting my grass.
All right, so you guys go to the war room, and you walk in, and there's a group of nobles and some knights in there, and the king is like, good to see you. Glad you made it. Very good. And on the wall is a massive tapestry that has essentially much better painted this on it. The entire island and all the kingdoms. And if we zoom in, we can see Davon.
Mm-hmm.
We can see Pelabria. And then he's literally tapping the map here.
Oh, I was mistaken. For some reason, I thought we were south of Pelabria. Okay.
No, you're north of him. Because Uri Day, and you see Ostrad here.
Yeah, for some reason, I thought Uri Day was where Pelabria was. Okay, that was my... got it. We're good.
And this is what he's showing you guys on the map. Just, like this is the area he's talking about. He goes, you have asked me what you can do to show the island. What do any of you know of the Uri Day people? What history? What knowledge?
They're north.
Yeah, it's a real shame we don't read the handouts.
Or we did 2 years ago.
I know. The Yuridae are the first and only Efrani kingdom that has signed the Treaty of Islay. I have supported them through my life. And they are now subjugated by the Ostrati. The Ostrati are not signatories to the Treaty of Islay. Therefore, if we, together with your allies, liberate Yuridae from the Ostrati, Calabria cannot lend them aid without violating the Treaty of Islay and putting all Pendric kingdoms against them. Now, she'll find a way to help as she can, but her advisors will not let her bring forces to bear, for that would make her an enemy. And then the invasion of Calabria would be a foregone conclusion. So I propose to you, Your Majesty, with my armies, whatever troops you can rally from Calith, Drael, Ishmir, Ire, we liberate the Yuridae and restore their queen to her throne.
We need something that shows that we've started the unification, that we have the force of power behind us. That sounds good to me, but what do what do the others here think of this?
I think it's a good plan.
Yeah, you and the king are both right. We need to show action. Right now, it's all just words. We need something behind us.
I think this is a way to save Palabrian lives. Therefore, I'm with it.
Think beyond that. Let your Alberish prejudices aside. Liberate Yuridae, and the Efrani tribes may come to your flag. There are vast numbers of them on this island. And unlike us, who line up and wave pennants and marshal battles on fields chosen, they run through the woods. They attack at night. They fight in winter. That force, plus the armies of the other kingdoms, that cunt in Palabria will have no choice but to bend the knee or face utter destruction. That is my proposal, High King. It is yours to decide yea or nay.
I want to hear more from people who got me this far.
My vote is yes.
Yes, how?
How? With you leading the way, of course, sir.
The king makes sense. His plan makes sense. I think we should follow through.
Well, you should lead the way as we ride towards Yuridae. You should let us lead the way into battle, High King. You are not yet a warrior. You still have much to learn. And I want you to be alive to learn it.
I want to be alive to learn it too. So actually, I'm looking back over at King I call him Harkin. I gotta stop doing it. Eric. King Harry. I would like Sir DeVere or somebody in his stead to contact people that he knows in Calabria. Apparently, there are folks there who are not happy with the Queen, obviously, and he thinks he can muster them. Can we muster them here without causing problems?
I have a piece of land, maybe 25 miles wide by 25 miles tall, right near the Palabrian border in the hills. It's not much of a piece of land. I maintain a summer palace there, for lack of a better term. I've visited it once in my life. It is yours, Sir DeVere, making you a noble of Davon. And if you wish to muster the freemen of Palabria to your flag, they may use that land as you see fit.
I thank you for this most gracious offer, my lord. I will make the most of it.
Good.
Sir DeVere, can you then reach out to whoever you need to reach out to get this process started while we go north?
Prepare your messages and I will give it to my people to distribute. My king, before we go north, we must go west. You must call a summit at Isley, requiring all the signatories of the Isley Agreement, the Treaty of Isley, to attend. Evelyn does not recognize your authority, therefore she will not attend. Once you have all the kings there, you can secure them and their pledge, and we will declare the war to liberate Uribe. If you want armies to move, you must do it in the proper fashion. And you must be there in Caleth to greet them all. The good news is you know them all already.
And I get to go home.
I believe you said that's what you wanted more than anything else, wasn't it? To go home. And he just points you in the chest with a bony finger again. Every man has a pressure point. Do you understand now?
I think so.
But what does your wizard say? Been silent this entire time.
I say, you do what your heart tells you, High King. We were talking of peaceful solutions, but now we're talking of war again. But if that's what you wish, that's the way of it. Again, I'm no politician.
I still like the idea of peaceful solution, and I think we still can look toward that. But as you said yourself, we don't know what that is. How much time do we have? And I'm asking this not as a snarky retort here, but honestly, how much time do we have to figure that out? And how do we go about figuring that out? I don't know. I don't know much.
I'll be honest with you, High King. I don't either. So it seems we've chosen violence. And if that's what we've chosen, I'll be there at your side.
Weren't you the one that once said that violence is what, well, to use my words, the dumb people do?
It is the easiest solution to a problem. So it's the solution that usually, if I may be frank, the ignorant usually choose. But that doesn't mean it's not always the worst solution to pick.
Very well. Sir DeVere, Gerhardt, well, actually, he's Sir Bocht, and Prince/Sir Navri. You're the warriors. We will prepare for the war. Brother Dale, Laurelin, I would like you guys to find another solution, if there is one available, Find out what that answer is. And if it exists within the amount of time that we have. In the meantime, I can go to Kaleth, go back home. And from there, it's going to take time for people to show up.
It will be better before we are done.
What's that?
Go ahead, less smelly person.
Hiking, if you can bring the forces together from several countries, perhaps that will be enough to have a bloodless war. And
do both. Yeah.
Your day.
Okay.
2 solutions are always better than one.
All right, I don't know how to command this any better than I have, so that's what I'd like you guys to do, and then Sir Devere Navria, you probably have the most experience in actually mustering armies. So when we go to Kaleth and people start showing up, a knight commander can start commanding some knights.
That is my intention.
Yes, sir.
And then Bakht, you need to teach me everything you know about the Estradi religion.
Do a montage.
Reading books and putting stuff up there and building crosses or whatever.
and then learning how to fight, and then like looking at maps with little armies moving around and like and arguing and
never gonna hold me back.
Exactly, it's gonna be amazing, this montage we're gonna have. So, Devere, you're asked to write a letter to the people that you want to have. They scribe out copies of it, and then they distribute it to their spy network to take to the people you've told them to take it to. Thane, you are asked to write the call of the High King to council at Islay. A copy is made of each one. You need a signet ring, so they actually will make you a signet ring over the course of these couple of
nice.
or whatever, so that you seal all of them.
My butterfly ring.
Your butterfly ring, exactly. You seal all of them with your Pendrick butterfly, and then those are sent to all the kingdoms that have signed the Islay Treaty, which includes Husky, Calabria, Drael, Brooka, Ire, Ishmir, and Davon. He's like, thank you. Yes, oh, very good. I've been called to a meeting. That type of idea. Dale, during this time, you are contacted by a group of mystics within Davon who are Pendrick Reformation, who want to know more about this unified church and the Grey Faith, because the Grey Faith is, one of the bases for the unified church. So you spend a lot of time in their company, studying and learning and teaching. Navri, you feel a strange call to this place just outside the city walls. And when you go there and you look at it, you know this is where the High Father's church must be built. Here. And as if to say that it wasn't like preordained, once you have this moment and you turn around to head back to the city to go, I got to get this thing going, you see Brother Dale and a bunch of mystics walking up to the area that you're at because they've decided this is a really good place to study and learn in the wilds, in the nature of God's world. So Gerhardt and Devere are training Ethane. Meanwhile, also at the same time, Herrick's Marshall is teaching you all the finer points of large warfare and troop movements and learning like how much goes into fucking this stuff, which is insane.
That montage includes a bunch of elbowing. Wake up.
There we go. And Laurelyn, as you sit contemplating the peaceful path, a raven lands in front of you. Turns its head. And then its mouth opens and you hear the voice you've heard before. It would appear we need to speak again, Laurelan Lockwold. It's the Witch Queen of Brooka.
Yeah. So I open my eyes, look straight at the raven. Well, we were speaking.
As you open your eye, you can see the shape of her around the raven as if she is possessing it. And then suddenly it just goes, and you are in a room, very ethereal, very smoky, what have you. And there's a stone table between the two of you, and she sits at the other side of it. What has been set in motion?
Oh my goodness.
Why would I tell you that information? I thought we already made a deal.
You are about to bring this island to the point of war.
It's not I who's going to bring the island to the point of war.
You are meant to control the High King. You are meant to guide the High King.
I give him the information he needs. I am his wise man. If he seeks my wisdom, I shall give it. If he doesn't, I won't. It is up to him. He is the High King. He is the one that has to make the decisions. A leader has to take the labels and lead. Not me. I'm not the leader. I'm not the king. If he makes the wrong decision, so be it. And I will fall with him.
While it would amuse me to attend this conclave in Islay, I will not, nor will any representative of Brooka, and our statement will be sent, but you will know it now. Brooka will not engage in any open warfare until the time set between us has been expired.
Of course. We already made a pact, and I know you will honor that pact.
Honor? I care not for honor. I will use the time that you are distracted to destroy those witches in a skein. Isn't the High King's female there? I believe she's about to give birth to his son. What a shame. While you're playing soldiers, I will win this game. And you're back in the grass, and the raven flies away.
Okay.
Are you telling anyone about this, or are you keeping it to yourself?
I'm not going to tell anybody right now. I will tell somebody when the moment's right. Yeah.
So, just so we're clear, in case you missed the subtext, she's threatening to kill his son. Okay. I'm just making sure you're aware.
Yeah. Okay.
So, a couple of months goes by.
Wow.
You've established a little military camp in De Vere's lands now. And there are daily arrivals from Palabria. The spy masters are warning you there will be spies. There will be people in those groups that are here to do wrong. So they're asking for permission to vet the people that are arriving. But as you are the lord of that land, De Vere, it's up to you to say yes or no.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Ask whatever questions you might deem suitable.
Sometimes, my lord De Vere, the questions are less about asking and more about extracting the information.
Torture, you mean?
If that is the word you choose to use, my lord, yes, torture.
I do not condone torture.
No sane man does, but without it, you will not get accurate information.
Torturing the innocent would certainly cause their loyalty to waver.
Their loyalty will not be a question, as they will be dead.
Ah, you mean going beyond torture, then?
As you wish, my lord, but there is no way to flush out spies that does not involve blood.
And how can you be sure the ones you're getting are spies?
Well,
It seems
that's
like a bit of a heads you win, heads I win, tails you lose situation.
If you would prefer we do nothing, then all we have set up will be at risk, my lord.
No, no. Much as it pains me, I will leave it to you.
We promise to be subtle.
Good. Because I wish to be leading a force mostly consisting of these good, honest people.
Yes,
I
my
would
lord.
like it to be a force of a considerable size, not a few lucky survivors.
Yes, my lord.
So please, be judicious, be sensible.
Yes, my lord.
Thank you.
So at the end of this couple of months at Thane, you are called to a meeting with the High King, with the King of Davon. You are allowed to bring your wizard if you want.
Absolutely. Hey, my wizard. I mean, Laura.
Hey, my wizard. And when you walk into the meeting, there are two men there that you do not recognize. One is wearing green and gold, and his standard has a charging horse on it. The other is wearing blue and silver, and the standard that he has on his shield is a hawk over a beehive. Give me an education check, both of you, to see if you recognize what these are by any, if you have heraldry as a skill.
You said education check?
Yeah.
40, and my education, I think, is right on 40.
So the hawk and the hive you absolutely recognize. That is the symbol of the Lord of Colwyn, which is on the continent. The green with the horse, you're not as sure on that one. What did you get, Cody?
I failed.
So Harry goes, High King. I present to you the emissary of Lord Colwyn and the emissary of the free country of the Duchy of Adair. That's the green gold. They had been dispatched by their lords to speak with you. They wish to entreat with the High King of Albana.
Okay. Please
So
sit down.
The one from Colwyn says, thank you, sir. We've come to extend our greetings from Lord Stephen of Colwyn. He wishes you health and prosperity. And while he says he may not contribute anything to your tasks in the form of manpower, he is open to any trade deals you may need for your upcoming adventures. And the other guy looks at you and goes, I speak on behalf of Duke Leto Adair of the Grand Duchy of Adair. We would love nothing more than to send troops to aid you in all your unifications. But unfortunately, it is we who at Swordhold keep the Ostorians and the Ostrati out of the western lands of the continent. Aegos breathes, eats, and sleeps because of our blood, because of our men, our women who hold the pass. That said, we will offer advisors to your army. We know how to fight Astrati. We've done it many times. In return, when you have unified your island and secured your hold as High King, the Grand Duke would request your aid in liberating the Midlands, as Vortigern once tried. That is the offer. And he puts the scroll down on the table.
Well, of course, I need time to think about this.
Of course.
As first of all, I appreciate you both being here. Long life to your rulers as well. Yeah, let me think about this. It's a long trip that you guys took out here, so I mean I can appreciate that. Thane is just rattling his head like all the nice little pleasantries he can think of saying because he doesn't know what the hell to do right now.
The Adari gentleman just listens. He goes, King Herrick sent message many months ago, probably around the time you began your unification.
Well, we can use all the support we get, and I am a type of person that believes that you help me, I help you. With that said, let me be very open about something here. I don't know what the result of this is going to be. Even if I win, and I'm saying I now, which is really weird. Even if I win, I don't know what that means. I don't like to order people to go to their deaths, especially for a war that doesn't involve them directly. It'd be tough for me to ask them to do that. But I also tell you, for whatever it's worth, I will honor my agreements. And if you help us, I just think it's only fair that we help in return.
Well, if I may, Your Highness, Colwyn follows the Reformation, the Reformed Church, like the island here does for the most part. Also, we failed, and so did Adair, to aid Vortigern when he attempted to hold and liberate the Midlands from Othay, the Palathian League, and Astoria. The suffering of the Atlantic people, who are cousins of ours, has been a great shame on our nation's honor, and my lord would greatly like to rectify that situation in the future. Vortigern was a good friend to Colwyn, and I know he was a good friend to Adair. There's no deny Vortigern was admired by many in Adair, including the Duke himself. Therefore, we will be allies of your unified island when the time comes.
Understood. I hope to be half the person Vortigern was.
We will take our leave of you, and when you are prepared to reply to our lords, I'm sure we will be ready to transport those replies.
Thank you.
The Adari guy stands up. Like, the Adari guy is just like, okay, you know how most people in the world feel when American military people are around them? Like, just like, oh, Jesus, these guys, like, fuck. You know, I mean, that feeling? That's what you get from the Adari. It's like, these are people who fight every day, you know what I mean? And they see themselves as, you know, the lone sentinel on the wall mentality, right? Like they are the ones who hold everyone else's lives in their hands because they are the place of entry. And he just gives you that vibe. And he's also bigger than most people you've ever met in your life. Like they're tall, robust people. You know, they're not Draelish, they're not giant men, but he's a big man, probably like 6'1", 6'2". You know, he's not a small man at all. And with that, they take their leave and head out, leaving you, the wizard, and Herrick.
Talk to the king first. This is where I know you said I have to make my own decisions, but this is where I lose understanding of the politics. Because I don't want to fight somebody else's war, and I don't want to condemn people here to go fight. If I have to do it, I have to do it. But I don't want to condemn people of this island to go fight somebody else's war if this turns out in our favor.
Sadly, the Palamrians and the Oski have convinced many on the island that the Atlantic campaign was Vortigern's folly. I disagree. The Atlantic people are like no other people in the continent They are a blood that is unique. It is their own culture, their own language. Everything about them is different from the rest of us. That they are suffering under the yoke of the Palathians, the Asturians, and the Othasians, who have split the Midlands 3 ways between them, with a false prince ruling over Maryland, the central piece, is tragic. We've heard reports of the atrocities perpetrated against Atlantic women, the castration of their males. It is a word that my vizier once taught me: a genocide of the people, a concentrated effort to remove them from existence. But within them are the seeds of the united church that your brother Dale speaks of. They practice the Grey Faith. They are the origin of the Grey Faith. That is all I can tell you and all I can advise, because we have to deal with our island first.
Laurelin? I'd like you to talk with Brother Dale about this and get his advice as well. But before that happens, do you understand where I'm coming from? I know I'm not the brightest person, but maybe I'm not saying this the way I want to.
You are brighter than you give yourself credit, my lord.
Well, I don't want to commit the people of this island to a war after, for lack of a better term, we burn it to the ground and rebuild it. Is this the way of the world, from your perspective?
It is the way of kings, unfortunately. You have to do things, you have to send your people to do things that you normally would go against your moral understanding. Sometimes you have to do things you regret. You have to command people to do things you regret. And sometimes that's for the greater good, and sometimes it's not. Sometimes you succeed, sometimes you'll fail.
And
But
I thought I was getting used to this.
Hopefully, you have to make the decision whether it's for the greater good of all. And if you believe it is, then you do it. If it's not, then you don't. Simple as that. It doesn't take a genius to understand it.
You need to think and reflect. I will have my people bring to you everything we have about Vortigern's war, so that you can familiarize yourself with its history, and that will help you make a decision. Know what came before, so that you can attempt to predict what will happen. Or at
Thank you.
least prepared. 2 days later, on a frosty, cold morning, it's misty, it's not great weather, messengers from Ishmir arrive. They're taken directly to King Herrick, who then has you, well, probably all of you are going to wind up there, but specifically Navri, brought to his council chamber. When you arrive, he looks at you and thanks you all for attending and goes, Navri Ishmatar. He throws a scroll down on the table. King Tanner has been assassinated.
What? By who?
We do not know. We are attempting to find out, and your people believe it was agents of Palabria. This missive has been sent to you, calling you home, for you are now the king of Ishmir.
That's a lot to take in. I guess I should go home to my people.
Why are you still here?
What?
You're the Paladin King of
With your
Ishmir.
permission.
No, you don't go.
You take this at
Will
face
you
value.
all come with me?
I have to stay here.
You take this at face value. Could it not be a trick?
If you will, King Navri, I can dispatch to travel with you 10 of my best men, in case it is as Sir De Vere, Lord De Vere fears, a trick.
Very well. I would appreciate that very much.
And if it is a trick, we wouldn't all want to go. But that's great, Navri. That obviously we're going to be in contact soon, and maybe even from there, this could be your. I forget the word, something about your belly, that to go to war.
If it is true, and I am now the King of Ishmir, then I know for a fact that you have my people's support.
Well, root out your internal problems first. Your dark church and all that. But I think that are you going to lead your army from the front?
I am a knight first and foremost.
Then we will see each other again. I just walk him, give him a hug. We will see each other again.
Definitely, sir. And still, I am under your command.
I appreciate that.
So when you call for me, I will be there. Hopefully with a large company of my finest warriors.
Can somebody give him a letter? I need to see you in Kaleth pretty soon.
How soon?
Whatever the time frame of that was supposed to be. Just let him know.
Spring.
There we go. So you got about 3-4 months.
Very well, sir.
About 5 months.
Okay, 5 months. We're in October.
And
he
with that,
froze. He froze so much he left. He's gone.
and with that, Navri will head for Ishmir. The rest of you will spend the autumn preparing for the spring, and we will pick this up in 1 month. All right, send me your votes. Oh, Condor came by and voted it down.
Oh, did it?
Oh, every video gets one down vote. I know exactly who it is because when he makes videos, he talks about the subject matter of my videos, professing that he doesn't watch my videos.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
I see it as it's like a badge now. It's like, yay, level up. Waiting on 2 people.
I know.
Oh, waiting on 3 people. Oh, wait, no. Now waiting on 2 people. There we go. All right, we'll start at the bottom and work our way up. Iman, who did you vote for and why?
I voted for Max, Athane.
He's gone into that contemplative mode, hasn't he? Oh, there we go.
Did you hear
Movement.
He's moving.
You hear that?
We got Max.
I voted for
Why-
Max.
Why?
Thane.
Oh, why?
I feel like he role played it very well. He had some proper character development, and he started to show a bit more confidence, a bit more assertiveness, authority, and he started to believe himself that he had some like actual power, if you will.
Okay. And what was your highlight?
Oh, you might have to get back to me on that one.
All right, give it some thought. Andy, who'd you vote for and why?
I voted for Max as well, pretty much for the same reasons. I thought he'd taken on what Herrick had said and ran with it.
Okay. And what was your highlight?
I did like him summoning Lurelin with the mug of ale. I thought that was fun.
That was a cool moment. Yeah, it was nice. All right, fair enough. Malachi, who'd you vote for and why?
I voted for Max because of the progression of Thane. You know, taking on the responsibility, you know, trying to be a man of action.
Okay. What was your highlight?
I think for me, my highlight was our interactions with the king when we first met him, and how he said about everybody has a pressure point, and he showed us our pressure points.
Okay. All right, that's legit. Hey, John, who'd you vote for and why there?
Well, you know, I voted for Max because, quite simply. I mean, it was De Vere's progression last session, and it was very much Ithane sort of growing into the role. He's still a little bit reluctant, but I think the seeds of kingship are beginning to emerge, and I think he's pacing it very well.
That's fair. And what was your highlight tonight?
A little more whimsical than the others. Chat won't have noticed, but there was a lovely little message that came through on our private chat during that. There is a faint cry from somewhere in the castle, as if someone being dunked in ice cold water.
Yes.
And that was Andy. That was Dale's bath.
Yes, that was a charming moment, to say the least. All right, Cody, who'd you vote for and why?
I voted for Andy, actually, because I knew everybody would vote for Max. Of course, he did a great job, but I felt like Andy did a really good job, too, because he didn't get to shine a lot, but he did a really good job of staying in character, though, every time that he did get to shine. And for me personally, it's been really hard to get back into this character after this long of a time, and I think he has maintained that character this whole fucking time. So I give him props for that. And my favorite moment, I agree with Malachi. I think it was King Herrick. Actually, I would give him MVP because that was the best character of the session for sure. But that role playing was pretty good and pretty intense, and had me
all around. Yeah. Everybody was really dialed in there. That was a good way to go. All right, cool. Thank you. And the man of the hour, it appears. Who'd you vote for and why?
I voted for Brother Dale as well, and Cody took my entire answer from me. I thought that like every time we talked, he was right back into character. He stayed true to that character. Everybody, as normal, everybody did a really good job today, but it was so heavily focused on my character that it was, that everybody kind of had their little times to shine. And well, I liked what everybody did. The fact that he could always just pop right back in, like, what do you do? And he's just like, well, what I do is I give you the props. And I'm like, okay, this dude is playing his character. I really like that.
I agree. I very much agree on that. All right, what was your highlight?
My highlight was, I'm going to give you a twofer here. This is also the thing that is now driving Ithane. When he came straight out and, first of all, he said, I hear you're married. And I'm like, I don't remember actually marrying her, but okay. That's awesome because Ithane is like, fuck yeah. I knew about the kid, obviously. But then the fact that he opened up and basically said, do what you want. And within that construct, I'm like, okay, this entire war for Ithane is now about her.
Nice. Oh, what was the thing that Herrick said that locked Ithane in? Sorry, I didn't quite understand.
Well, it was when he talked about how he had his wife and then said, I know you're married to his Gito, and kind of laughed about it, and then and with child and so on and so forth, he's like, what are you fighting for? And I'm like, Well, that's what you have to know what you're fighting for. That's what I'm fighting for. That is exactly what Ethane is fighting for. He didn't even care whatever dude was saying after that. He's like, sure, great, yeah, pressure points, yada yada. I'm fighting for that.
For that woman and that baby. There we go. Oh my God! If they get killed, Laurelin, yikes! Well, Max, normally you would win because more people voted for you, but I'm actually going to break my own rules and give it to Andy.
That's fair.
I think Andy literally deserves it tonight for the role playing.
It was so heavily centric on me anyway that I get it.
Yeah. But Andy's ability to keep the character alive is really, really good. So that's awesome. So you get, I believe, a bonus luck point and a bonus skill roll. Please take advantage of them. But I'm also going to give you your props as well, Max, because you earned it. So you get your bonus luck point and your bonus skill roll as well. But I want to give an honorable sort of judge's award to Andy because I think he really did a good job on that.
As a player, I hope that you guys also saw that I was trying to bring you in. I think I did not. I was getting a little like, okay, this is really, really focused on me. I get that. That's cool, but I want to bring in everybody in this. So I hope you guys saw that, and I hope I did that fairly for you.
Yeah, I for sure saw that. My problem, really, I'll be honest, was like I had a really hard time getting back into this game after this long. Like I can't even remember what that headspace of this character is. So you're asking me questions and stuff, and I couldn't remember shit. And I have notes and stuff too, and I'm just like, I don't even know what this says.
Well, but that works to a certain extent because the last thing he did was absorb a witch.
Yeah.
So there's fair play that Laurelin's kind of fucked up right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm going to go around the table and give you guys each of your props that I feel is necessary right now. So, Max, we know, you grew tonight. You did a good job. You really allowed the character to start to understand the severity of his situation. I think it's funny as fuck that you're all trying to figure out how to do this peacefully. It's like, there is no way to unite this island peacefully. If you guys can cook one up, more power to you. But
challenge accepted.
I love the fact you're trying. Cody, I like how much more Merlin Laurelin was this time.
I don't.
Yeah, but he did. He got to a point where he kind of went, all right, then fine. Do what you want. Here's my advice, but do what you want. And I love the fact that Laurelin was a bit jealous of Herrick's relationship with Ethane. Well, you've already spoken to your first advisor. It was your first wise man. It was like, I love that. It was like a really Laurelin's feeling butthurt. I loved it. It was so good. John DeVere is becoming less of a cunt with every session. And the nice part is I think we've had 3 sessions in a row now where his country has not, he sort of started to backpedal a bit in Palabria, and then the rug got pulled out under him, and he's like, fuck that. All right. I now have a purpose. Free my people. You know what I mean?
But he's still staying true to that character.
But
without being a cunt.
Without being a cunt, exactly. And that's really good. So I really like what you did there. Malachi, you actually role-played tonight. Good for you. It wasn't much, but there was a little bit, and I loved it. It was really nice. I'm going to give you. I'm going to remind you to look at the campaign primer and read about your people, so you have a better idea of who the Estradi are, because I think that would help you a lot. Andy, we've already said what we need to say, which is that you've done a really, really good job. So keep going. And Iman
King.
I love that Iman, that Navri decided, I'm not able to be the king anymore because I can only serve the High Father. But it's like, no. If you actually talk to Brother Andy about it, Brother Dale about it, he'll explain to you that the kings all wear crowns that are given to them by the High Father. They serve the High Father through their kingdoms and through their kingships. That's what they do. So I love the fact, I believe it was Max referred to Navri as the Paladin King.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's Charlemagne. Do you know anything about Charlemagne? Iman?
Can't say I do.
Learn about Charlemagne.
Can't say I do, no.
Because I think Navri's potential here to be a religious king who leads his people through their faith in the divine is going to be a very interesting arc for the character. So, I'd look into more Charlemagne. Learn about Charlemagne.
And you're already role playing a lot of that right now, Bill. I mean, I think you do a great job with that.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Now, it
thank
gets hard for us right now because we're in domain play, right?
Yeah.
Like, we're getting into domain play, and domain play is very hard to have characters interacting and doing stuff all the time. So I'm going to have to think about ways to do that moving forward. But if you guys have some suggestions and you want to discuss it in the group chat, I'd be really open to that, because it's really kind of hard to, sort of, how do you give everybody their fair share? But like, you were trying to bring them all together, but this domain play starts pulling you apart because you all have things to do. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where I would be really, really open to discussion because I've never run domain play before. So this is my first time. So I'm learning as I go as well. So that would be helpful if we talked about it in the Discord chat. That would be good because we can get some ideas of how to do it. Now, does that mean maybe making backup characters that can be used for more, specific stuff that you do? I don't know. We'll
Devere can play Perrin. Or John can play Perrin.
Now, the next question is,
We
we're
just-
going to have about a half-year jump. In total, about almost a year. Like, we're going from the end of summer to the beginning of spring is going to be the next jump. So I need each of you in the chat to tell me all the shit your characters are going to be doing over the course of the autumn and winter. Okay? And like all the stuff you want to get accomplished and all the things that are important to you. Please, because that's going to be important. And we'll figure out the date from when we pick it up. So there you go. Any final thoughts from anybody before we wrap this up?
For not remembering anything from last session, I thought everybody played great. I'm happy to be part of this group of gamers. I hope we can keep this going again.
Well, it's funny. I've often thought about how, like, I've always been like, I should just bring this game to an end. I should just find a way to end it so that way we could play a game that was less together, because I like us role playing together. You know what I mean? Like, I do enjoy this group, and I would hope that once we do get to the end point of Codex Albana, we can still keep playing together in something else. You know what I mean? So no plans to end it just yet. I think we hit a really good stride this session. I think we hit a really good point that takes the campaign forward in a weird way. But we'll discuss all that offline. Thank you guys for playing today. It was a lot of fun. Thank you everybody who watched on all the channels that were co-streaming and on my channel and all of that. I really, really appreciate it. It's been a couple of months, so it's nice that we had an audience today. It was nice to see everybody showing up for it. Thank you so much. Peace, love, geek, and we'll be back with more Codex Albana, hopefully, barring bullshit, in 1 month.
I have no more dads that can die. It's okay.
Ow.